We are live. Hi there. I was running a little late, so I'm still putting things on my design board, but I've got there. Hi, everybody. I know there's a lot of people bumping around. I just thought if you're, kind of like me, where it was calm and we don't really have family here or anything else, we'd kind of get some sewing done. I tend to take those holidays when the store's not open and I have a little more time to kind of get some sewing done. And I have a feeling you do the same thing. When you're not at work and there's no big demands, that's kind of when you sew. So we're going to sew the pillow top today. Yay, that kind of takes it down. And I posted about, my long armor sent me the picture. She brought it today. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I was thinking about the binding because, and I think a lot of y'all have done this too. It doesn't feel kind of complete. It almost feels like you need to extend it out some more and kind of let it fade to a white or something like that. So what I think I'm going to do is do a dark gray with a peekaboo. I call it a peekaboo binding where it's got almost like cording or something around it in the rainbow. And I think that is going to look so good. Let me know if you like that idea, and if you do, I'll show you. I'll do a little video on how to make it. So.
Okay, so gravity's so long. I need to let them know we're on. How do I do that?
Oh, on the group?
Yeah.
So you have to be in the threaded lines.
I'm there.
And then you go search for groups or something like that on the side.
Gravity's so long.
Yes, go there, and then you go in there, and then you just make a post that says we're live on YouTube. Are you on the page?
I'm on the page.
Go down just a little bit. What's on your mind? Sometimes it says what's on your mind. Turn it around to me so I can have technical difficulties. We're kind of announcing on the Facebook group that, we're live on YouTube. Even if people don't come, I will post this video on Facebook and on the group so that people can watch it later if they want to. I think it's going to be a long video, but I am going to do a couple of announcements here at the beginning. That way everybody, when they first watch it, they can see it. Do you see the quilt behind me? That's our new sew along. I knew that we bumped around a little bit. We've talked a little bit about Sweet Tooth. We've talked about the Tula Pink Butterfly, and I think there's been a couple of other things, but I finally settled on Sweet Tooth. I did this because you already have the rulers, and it's just kind of a natural progression. I think we're going to do something completely different for the one after this, but for this one, we're going to stick with Jaybird. This is Sweet Tooth, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And we do have the sew along, sign up for the sew along on our website. We've got that. We've got that where you can go ahead and sign up. I am going to do some kits, but I want your opinion, and I'll ask this in the group too. These are with Kona solids, and I mean, it's cute and all, but I want to change the colorway on this. I want to do something a little bit different. Do you want to work again with solids? That's the first option. Or what I was thinking that I wanted to do was do the new Tula Pink True Colors, her new ones that are coming out in April. So those are kind of the two options. And the reason why I don't have the kits together is I wanted to know what your thoughts were on it. There is a possibility that I will do 2 kits for this, but it's not 113 fabrics, but it is 70 something fabrics. So I do want to kind of want to stick with one. So I didn't put the kits together because I need to wait for the new Free Spirit release to know what fabrics are staying and what fabrics are going of Tula's. So that's why. But in the meantime, I want to get your opinion. Should we stick with solids or should we go with Tula?
So Wendy Reinerth said hi.
Hi, Wendy.
Becky Spencer said hello.
Hi, Becky.
Katria said hello again.
Hi again. Saw you this morning.
And then Wendy said a flange binding.
Yes, it's also called a flange binding. I like peekaboo better. It's a little more fun. But you're right, it's a flange binding. So I think I'll do the flange in the rainbow with a dark, one of the dark charcoal kind of colors. I don't know if it's going to be charcoal, but it's like a dark gray.
Katria said, I like the solids.
You like the solids? I don't like these colorways as much that she has on here. I'm probably going to change that. But And I don't think we're going to use Kona solids. I think we're going to use Riley Blake solids because we're getting a good deal on them. So I'll pass that on to y'all. All right. That was kind of my big announcement. I have your patches. I have your pins. I'm not going to show you because I want it to be a surprise for you. So if you finish, be sure to sign that Google form. I've got it in all the emails that I send out. You just click that link and sign that form. Show me either by emailing me or posting on the Facebook group your finished piece, and then you get one of those pins. All right.
And they're beautiful too.
They're gorgeous. I have them. Huh, finally, I have them. All right. Are y'all ready to sew this pillow? So I had started, I'm not finished, putting the pieces on my design board here. I'm going to get a few more on here. I don't know if I'm going to put all of them because I don't want it to get too convoluted.
Katria said she loves Riley Blake though.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Nice. I do too. I've really kind of, and they're like a family company. They've kind of been welcoming to me. So I've been pretty excited about them. All right, I'm getting my pieces. And no, I did not trim my triangles. I may regret it, but we're going to see. I've been kind of busy. All right, what I'm going to start with, so I'm going to move this over. I'm going to sit down at my sewing machine. We're going to bump around the camera a little bit so that it's focusing kind of more on the machine. I'm not going to do it where you're not going to see me this time, since this is more of a sew along than I'm teaching you. We all know how to sew these. We all know how to sew triangles together. So, all right.
You ready?
Are we ready? I'm going to do some.
Sorry for the bumping.
Yep. Sorry for the bumping. We'll get it going. Let's see. I'd like a little more light. Is that okay? Yep. I'd like a little light on my sewing area. We were having some lighting issues earlier, so.
I think you're good now.
We're good now? All right. What I'm going to start with, I don't know what y'all are going to do, but I'm going to start with the top and bottom because those strips are a little bit easier with the long pieces, and I want to get them done. All right. I have got to change my foot. I didn't get as ready as I thought. I'm putting a 1/4 inch foot on. It's my perfect 1/4 inch on this machine. I love it.
So you have 7 people viewing right now.
Nice. Welcome. Are y'all going to be sewing too, or are y'all just going to watch me? Hopefully y'all set it up where y'all are sewing too. All right. I'm excited to get this done. When the Long Armor brought the quilt in, we really thought it would look great on a guest bed. I'm going to keep it in the shop for a little while, but on a guest bed, and I think the pillow would be lovely on top of it too. All right, I am going to sew the top. Go ahead.
Chris Purcell said, I'm torn on solids or Tula. I love the gravity quilts that were done in prints.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Wendy said, I'm sewing.
You're sewing. Cool.
Let's
do this. All right, so I am just going to...
And I am here, for those who are on, if you can't see something or if you need a better view, let me know.
Yeah, he can bump it around. So I just didn't want it to do, this one doesn't need to be quite as directional as some of the others. These are just triangles and strips. So nothing too major there. And you know, I have the world's slowest cutting, but that's all right. I am going to try to do some chain piecing. We'll see how it goes. All right, so just doing that top.
Katria said, I'm shopping.
You're shopping? That's kind of fun. So you saw, okay, so Katria was on our live, because we live, and I'll kind of talk to y'all about it. This year in 2025, we're doing a lot. So if you don't follow me on like my main page, I'll tell you. I try not to push that too much with y'all, but it's fun things that we're doing. You might be interested.
Yep, Chris Purcell said sewing as well started this morning.
Perfect. See, I like quick wins to begin with. We're done with the top row. I'm just going to clip my little piece at the top off. And I've got my iron, and I totally did that wrong. Look how quick and easy it is to do wrong. I've got Jack the Ripper here, because I was talking. So can you talk about some of the stuff while I get this done and figure out?
Yeah. So
sorry about that.
Obviously, you talked a little bit about Sweet Tooth. I don't know if they can hear me very well. It's very low where I am.
Oh, because it's over here. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I told y'all about this sew along, right? And I announced it to y'all, and I didn't announce it to anybody else. So y'all are the ones that know it.
Yeah. And then we talked a little bit about the Sweet Tooth.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you. That is Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
This is just for them. We
Yeah.
didn't tell anybody else.
Right.
And all it did was I had it the wrong way, upside down. That one's not going to start till August. The ones with y'all, that's not going to start till August because we kind of need to finish Gravity. We're not done with this one yet, and let's take a breather, and then we'll get started in August. I think that'll be fun, and you can do some other little projects and stuff like that. And this one is going to be like a 15-month-long sew-along.
Chris said she had to tear out my first 2 blocks as well.
All right, we got it going the right way now.
And then you talked about the melody of...
Well, I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
So 15 months, because there are actually 12 months of blocks, not 9 months of blocks like Gravity was. And then I want to give a couple months to, finish up and stuff like that. And I think because I'm being known for these really slow alongs, as I'm calling, or somebody called it a slow along, and I joined up with that. I think let's just take it easy, right? We've all got busy lives. I'm busy. Y'all are busy. Okay, so now we've got the first row done. Voila, first row done.
Viola.
And I don't even have that one on here. All right, now we're going to do the bottom one. I got to think about this for a second. I need a diamond, 2 diamonds. Okay. All right, so 15 months, sign up is now. Chris, I'm kind of with you. I'm thinking about towards the Tula just because I want to do something a little different. And if someone wants a solid one, maybe I can give suggestions or something. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So then the other one is Melody of Petals that's a sew along that starts kind of in June. And that's a kind of a learn one. It's kind of a beginner that you learn a lot of techniques on. And that one's just a 3-month sew along that starts like in June. So it's a little more intense. It goes a little bit faster, but it's the same block over and over again. So you really learn those techniques over and over and over again. And there's only 12 blocks. It's not, and they're big. They're like 18-inch blocks when you're done. So it's not as intense of cutting like this one is.
Yeah, it's Stephanie Organis.
Stephanie Organis. She's with Andover, which Andover's been real sweet. Adam is now the CEO. He's come in my shop. Like, I was impressed and talked to me and asked my opinion on things and stuff like that. I was kind of impressed. I got to be honest with you. I was impressed. All right, then the other one we're doing, I don't know, because y'all are a little more modern. Y'all may not be as interested in this one. It's the Riley Blake tabletop banner sew along. It's seasonal, so it's all the seasons that go throughout the year. One for every month. We're going to put it in. See, I would sew it wrong if I didn't pay attention here. Okay. We're going to make it into a quilt, and if you sign up, if that's something you're interested in, I will give you the setting kit for free. And that's going to be a year long, and that starts in January. But you're not too late. I haven't started it yet. I don't have the kits in yet. So there's that. So that's 3 sew-alongs. And if you know about my exploding heart patterns that I've modified for Texas and the United States, I released a rainbow one today, Katria was there, right? And she saw it. And then we're releasing a new state, or I'm actually doing some international flags too. So we're releasing one per month this whole year. And I don't like how that one did. I'm going to redo this one. Maybe I should have cut those tips on the diamonds. I may actually take a few minutes and do that, because if that helps it line up better, and I can remember, I will take the time and do that. What was I talking about? Oh, the states. If there's a state that you're looking, I asked this on my live, if there's a state that you want me to do, or an international flag, let me know. I'm making a list and kind of compiling it. And someone on the live said Pacific Northwest. That was a great idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Kind of combine some of the flags and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm going to do another side so I can. All right. So I need to leave a little bit and a little bit. I didn't even follow my own thing that I drilled in y'all's heads for a year about cutting off those points, and look what happened.
Yeah.
This is why you cut off the points. All right. So, tell me what all y'all are up to. What are you shopping for?
Yeah, what are you shopping for? Because you have Chris and Wendy sewing with you.
Nice. All right. We'll do some.
Several other people on.
Cool, cool, cool. So I've got a lot going on. Oh, and the one thing I didn't tell you, you should tell me. I forgot to mention. Oh, sorry, jumping around here. I am doing. There's a lot of people that are talking about. My diamonds are going the wrong way. What is confounding me about this pillow? They're going the wrong way. They're supposed to be this way. Ding dong, it's because I'm talking while I'm doing
Katria
this.
Said 108. She's shopping for 108. So I have 4
For
quilt
108s.
tops that need to be quilted.
Sweet. That's kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, 108 sometimes, you know.
It's not the right color, or you're really thinking about it. And I'm one of those people that I don't pick the backing until I'm done, which probably I shouldn't do, but you know, there's those two types of people. And see, in a case like this, you can't even turn it around. You got to take it all off.
Katria said yes, LOL.
All right, I have to think about this for a minute, guys. I'm screwing up way too much. Okay. When I did the last Exploding Heart, I did like a webbing thing. That's what I need to do when I'm doing these lives. See, if I turn around, it's still the same way. I have to do it all over again. And I already redid this once.
Katria did a slap on her head thing.
Uh-huh.
She said, I left the quilts at home.
Been there, done that. Luckily, my house is like, what, 7 or 8 minutes? Yeah. And that's only because we got to stop at a light from the shop. So I'm running back and forth all the time. We talk about if I ever move further away, that I would have to get a lot more organized.
Yeah. So Kristen said, I did the Exploding Heart of Texas for my nephew's 40th. He loved it. It happens very easy. Diamonds the wrong way, LOL.
Yeah, it does, right?
Wendy said, I need to stop and trim my diamonds.
I do too. Because did you have the same thing where it was off center like that? Yeah, I think I'm gonna trim the diamonds. But all right, so they go this way. How the hell? No. How the hell does it attach?
Like that, right?
Like that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how it is. No, it goes like this. This is upside down. The whole freaking thing is wrong. The whole freaking thing.
Well, Katria's feeling better. She says she's doing this off of memory. The remembering what the quilts are.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fine. Because the one thing I tell people sometimes when we just can't find that absolute perfect match, you're not really going to see the backing from the front. So it's not too bad.
And Wendy said, yeah, a bit on the diamonds.
All right, here we go.
Starting again.
Starting again. So this needs to go this way. The triangle is upside down, like that. Then the diamonds will do great.
Well, there you go.
All right, now we know. This was supposed to be easy, right? Do the top and bottom. It's easy, they said. All right. Now that goes the right way. Okay, here we go. And because I trimmed those tips after I sewed it together, I have them trimmed already.
So Wendy asked, what backing did you use?
Oh, do you want to show them? I used that. Do you want to grab it real quick and kind of stick it in front of the camera?
Oh, okay.
I used that Venom from Libs Elliott. We are out now, but maybe you can find it somewhere. It's called Venom by Libs Elliott. He's going to show you. It's so cool. I love it.
It's heavy.
It is heavy. So hopefully we don't bump the camera too much.
Okay, I'm going to flash this in front, hopefully.
Yeah. That's the one we used. But you know, I also think some of the Juicy Juice new wide backs, I think some of those would be cool too. But they're not dark like that black, and I kind of wanted the black. But surely somebody's got some of that somewhere. Just we ran out. All right, making sure it's going the right way. All right, and then we'll be done with this first top and bottom. We should have music playing or something. Okay. Beautiful. Now it looks great and is like it's supposed to. Perfect, perfect. All right. Few too many threads have gone through this, but that's all right. Just the one row. The top row came together so fast, or did it? Yes, it did. Okay, top row, bottom row.
Which one? We have 6 yards of that.
Oh, we have
Venom.
6 yards of the Venom?
Yep.
Cool. All you need is 3. It works for 3. We have it if you like it. All right. I am starting from the bottom because that's the way I roll, it seems like.
Wendy said, beautiful. I bought Tula's Hexie large print. Kind of wish I'd waited, but it is what it is.
Oh, no, it's good. That's a good one, too.
Yep.
That's a good one, too. Okay. Is this how it goes? No. Check your pattern.
Check it twice, once, couple scissors, or so once.
There we go. I kind of want to do a little bit of chain piecing here. So I don't know if I can take my whole one out, but I would like to. All right, so this is going on here. And I didn't trim, so paying for it. There we go. I think that's the, yes, that's the one I want to sew. Woo! These triangles and everything, you got to think about it. All right. So have y'all set any goals up?
What's everybody's New Year's resolution?
Yeah, your New Year's resolutions. I haven't thought about it yet. I guess my resolution is to, it's work related. It's not personal related, but to stick with the plan that I have set out thus far. simple as that. I made a plan. Stick with the plan. My resolution is to stick with my plan.
Katria's going to be fine. Finding 4 light bags.
I know, right? Katria's got to find those 4 or 5 wide bags.
That's going to be that's her New Year's resolution.
All right. I'm worried about chaining too much and then messing up. So let's look at it a little bit. It goes this direction. This was the second one. I guess even if it's a, and look at that. Looks great. I thought I messed up, but I didn't. Look at that. So perfect. All right. Let's get these done.
Oh, Katria said, LOL, I think I got them. We found them. Yay.
Mr. Threaded Lines here has set a resolution
Yep.
of getting a little more
healthy.
He got some news while we were at an appointment that his blood pressure is a little too high. So we are going to take some precautions. It happens when you age. All right. Here we go. Sorry, I'm a little quiet when I sew. I've never done one where I've I know when I do the tutorials, but I've got things to talk about when I'm doing it. This, I'm trying to think a little bit.
So we have people coming on to check you out.
And leaving, right? Coming on and going off. I know. This is one of those, it's probably going to be a couple-hour video. It won't be something that everybody watches. But I thought it was nice to kind of spend some time today working on this.
Well, Chris has got the setup. She goes, I have my book propped up and using washi tape to cover each row I finished.
That's a great idea.
Great
to use washi tape to do the lines. That's a freaking fabulous idea.
Thank you for sharing. That was awesome. We've had to actually keep a couple people come by and stop to see if we're open.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, unfortunately today we are not. We should have put a sign up. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of chain these and then not take them apart right away. Like I'll do them one at a time, take apart. And then we've got the rows to sew. I was so good about cutting off all the tips as we were going through. It makes a difference. Okay, that's just one left. Sometimes when I've got that extra one on the end, I go ahead and take apart that bottom one. Which way does the end? Yes. Like this. Go ahead and open this up. Do you need to talk to somebody?
No.
He's up and walking around. I'm like, what's he looking at? What's he looking at?
Just checking things out.
Personal resolutions. I think I'm trying to do, we found this exercise plan, and it starts off really, really slow because we're older and achier with bad knees and backs. I know some of y'all are a little bit younger, but we did it together this morning, and I think we're going to try to keep going on that. What is freaking hilarious? He just got something that said it was funny. He has to share. That's part of it. You talk out loud, you got to share.
So one of our children, Lainey,
one of our children
said Happy New Year. When you opened up, your whole background turned into fireworks and blew up and made noises and stuff like that. So it kind of broke into a bunch of pieces, and I can't get to do it again to show you.
Oh, she sent us a GIF, whatever you call them, with blowing up, but it only did it once, and now it won't do it again. Maybe she sent it to me, and we can do it again later.
Did too.
Ah, fun.
It was loud.
Oh, it was loud.
I turned it down.
Mm-hmm. Cute, cute, cute.
Okay, Wendy said, this is different. When we were sewing blocks, we did diagonal rows. This seems a little more starting and stopping.
It is a lot because it's a lot of little pieces. So you have to sew them all together. That's why I'm chain piecing a little bit. So
she goes, what do you think about sewing diagonal rows for the cushion? Like going diagonally instead of going straight across.
I don't know if it looks complicated. You'd have to really keep track of it. You could probably, I'm not sure it would be any different. I'm not sure it would be any different. It's still, you're still having to sew one piece to one piece and then one piece to one piece and one, it's still, it's just a lot of little pieces. Lot of little pieces. I really think and to keep track of it, you know, if you can use your washi tape and do it, I think people would be interested in how it's happening. What? What are you laughing at?
I think it's my phone because everybody I'm opening that said Happy New Year is doing that in the background.
Okay. It is a little cumbersome, this sewing. It's tiny little pieces and it's going to take a while. If it gets too boring, we'll get off the live and say, all right, we've done a few sews. See you in a little while. I'm not too far from finishing the real first row. Okay, this one is next. And my picture is on my phone. Maybe you can print it out, like go over to that computer and bring it up on Facebook and download it and print it out so I can look at my colorway. And because I'm losing track of which way things go. Okay, this one definitely ends like this, yeah. All right. Then we've got a couple more diamonds and we're done with this row. I think when we were doing the main blocks, the pieces were a lot larger, right? So you weren't sewing quite as much, but you're literally sewing 108 plus, how much? 24 and 10. What's 108, 24 and 10?
108, 24 and 10 is 142.
143, 44, 145 pieces together for this. So that's kind of a lot, right? And they're tiny little sews. Tiny little sews. But looking good, looking good. I'm excited about this. I've been excited for a little while. Yeah, but if it's like 10 minutes to sew a row, it's going to take quite a while. Neither you nor me might have time left for all that today. Okay, 2 more pieces, 2 diamonds. 1 and 2. And they naturally end up like that, which is definitely the way to go.
I just saw Chris's, sorry, I was trying to get to my, like Chris's, she's about halfway down. I'll print it out so you can see, so I can show what she did.
Oh, nice. Trim and trim, you know me. Trim, 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 trim. Like that. All right. Once I get this, we are done with the first row. Actually, I want to turn this over because I want to make sure that seam opens up. I thought I had pressed that one, but I guess I did not. All right. He's going to print off my colorway so I can keep track and do a little more chain piecing. Okay. didn't even count how many rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we've already done 3.
Woohoo!
So that's not too bad. Oh,
You okay?
yeah, I set my iron down. I'm used to my Aliso that raises. Could have burnt the place down.
What the heck?
Need to make sure that I set it up next time. When you're used to using an iron a certain way, boy, it is hard to change. I'm going to tell you that. Okay. So do y'all use a big iron or y'all like mini irons all the time? I like my mini, but man, I really love my big iron.
Still trying to find your picture.
I'm using
There's Chris's. Still trying to find your
Sweet.
So they are saying,
I use the big iron most of the time, even when I'm piecing like this.
Wendy said, right, okay, I never thought about the angle thing.
Yeah.
And Chris, I found a 108 called Circle Play 108 for my gravity quilt.
Oh, sweet.
Chris said, wait, can you really count the first and last row?
Yes, you can. You certainly can. They are rows that are finished. I'm sorry, I do small wins where I can get them, girlfriends. Yes, you can. My kids, they think they have to move mountains. My kiddos. I don't know how they got that because I've never been that way. I've always celebrated really small wins.
You put it on Facebook?
Yes, on that group.
Okay.
Oh, you're on the gravity group, Smitty.
I'm trying to get those.
He was on our main page. All right. Okay, I set it up. This is, whoops, it goes like that to y'all. I don't know where y'all can see. Hopefully y'all can see this. So this is the second row because we finished the first one. All right. I am going to put this back behind here so I can keep them kind of going. Looks great. All right. Now, and I'm starting from the bottom. I think that, yeah, you started at the top, Chris, right? I'm starting at the bottom. Weird, I know. All right, a triangle and a diamond. This triangle is down. Yes, we're on that row. Okay, here we go. This is where the chain piecing is going to come in. Did you go to the gravity group? Go click on the main, you're on my page, so you have to get off my page to my main feed. Home maybe on the side. Do you see groups or anything?
That's all right.
I can't get, well, I need this, so.
I'm working on it. No, I'm still going to work on it. I just got to figure out how to get it.
At the top left, there's nothing that says home or anything?
There is, yes, now I've got it.
Okay.
It was a house. It wasn't a word. It was a picture of a house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, since we've left the words and started doing pictogram, basically, it's a little bit harder to maintain and to know. On remote controls and stuff, I cannot read any of their directions. I'm always like, what does this mean? I have no idea. Okay, I'm going to chain this whole one since he's going to get this picture for me now. I really have to show you that the way I do the webbing. I mean, it really only works when you've got like lots of squares. It doesn't work for something like this, but it completely. I pieced together an exploding heart. Y'all all know what the exploding hearts are. I pieced together an exploding heart in basically, what did we say? 3 hours and 15 minutes? Every single square. No ironing, no taking any, like you would chain piece and you wouldn't take the strings apart. It was amazing. And the only reason why I don't want to do it here is you've got to, when you sew these together, you're cross-connecting those seams. Thank you. Cross-connecting those seams, and you've got to sew across a seam to get it. And that's why I don't think that it would work with this one. But that doesn't mean we can't chain piece a little bit. So what else can we talk about? Do y'all read? I try to, but I don't have a lot of time. What good books have you read lately? I need to get to the library.
I can answer for my part. I'm reading some crime mysteries.
He likes crime. He likes crime mystery. Yeah, a few years ago, he's in the car a lot for commute to his work. So I said, I want you to get Audible. And I got him Audible for Christmas. And you have loved it. Because I used to go to the library and get him books on CDs. And I would just pick them out for him. Some of them were really good, but some of them not so good.
One of the best ones she's ever got from me, though, was one called Lottery.
Lottery, yep.
And it was about a...
Can they hear you?
I don't know. A little bit, maybe. I don't... Can anybody hear me? Probably somebody... It comes about halfway. Sorry.
Here you go. When he talks, I'll give him to you.
That's all right. Sorry. So now she gave me the microphone, so it's a lot louder. So Mr. Threadlines, hello, everybody. So it was called Lottery, and I can't remember the author, but what it was about a guy who lived a very simple life. He had learning disabilities, and he used to hang out with his grandmother a lot. And I don't want to give away too much of the book, but basically it goes his trials and tribulations with dealing with the rest of his family and everything as he won the lottery, the Washington State Lottery. And it was actually pretty interesting. It's got really good, really good storyline. It really had you in depth. The book was like, 8 or 9 hours long, and it felt like it was like an hour and a half, one of those type of books. And we did it audio like. So the guy who, if you ever get an audiobook, tried Lottery, because the guy who actually read it did all the voices differently, did all the sounds differently, and really made the book even better. So definitely check that out. So that was one of my books that I read that I still recommend to people when they ask me what your favorite book you've listened to so far. And then the second thing is I got to quote unquote read all the books I should have read in high school and college. I've now listened to on the way to work, and some are really good, and I've kind of kicked myself for not reading them back then. I did the tried and true high schooler where I did some of the cliff notes and did stuff like that, and didn't really listen to the book or read the book. And now I wish I did, because there were some really good ones. But yeah, no, that's one. I mean, Frankenstein was one of my favorites that I've listened to from the classics. And the only one I can't get through is Count of Monte Cristo. I can't, for some reason, cannot get through that one at all.
Oh.
So
the one I can't get through is Lincoln by Gore Vidal. That was the worst. And I'm a person that when I am reading a book, I finish it no matter how bad it is. And I was one of the few people that I didn't like Gone Girl. Couldn't stand the book and didn't even bother watching the movie. It was one I just did not like, and I think I'm one of the only people on earth that didn't like it. So I didn't finish. I did finish that one, but Gore Vidal, Lincoln by Gore Vidal was the only book I have not finished. Just couldn't get through it. How about y'all? Book likes, things that you just couldn't get through. I'd love to hear. So I'm completely chain piecing this one. Taking me longer to press it open than sew it. We will see how long.
I think people are focused on trying to get
They're trying to chain their pieces. I know, right? I'm talking. Y'all are the one that have to type. So I totally get it.
They're like, I should hit that little microphone there and just chat into it ourselves and go, yeah, kind of make it transpose.
This one totally did wrong.
Interesting.
That is right. Oh, there we go. Like that. It's like that. Okay. Whew. Phew. I thought I did it wrong. This is why we printed that off for me, so I can keep track.
Yep. So we have 7 people watching now that have been on for a while.
Nice. Hopefully y'all are sewing.
So, yeah.
All right. Oh. A book that I read every year that we watched a movie called Definitely Maybe, and I was like, I thought I was one of the only people that liked Jane Eyre. Not that I want everyone to like it, but I read Jane Eyre every year. Every year I get something different from it, and I've read it every year for, oh my gosh, I've read it every year since we've been together, and we've been together 26 years. Mm-hmm. So yep. That's one book that I can read over and over and over again.
Is Mr. Darcy in that one too?
No. Okay. No, different writer.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
No. It's how much I read.
It's again, not
I
those.
About those times I should have read in college or in high school. Right?
It's a good book. I mean, yes, there's romance, but it's not all about the romance. It's about other things. Mm-hmm. You would like it. I think you would.
Think I would like it?
I do.
Audiobook.
I totally sewed these wrong. I thought that I was doing so good. Yeah. These are right. These are wrong. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jack the Ripper's coming out again. Jack the Ripper's coming out again.
So Wendy Reiner said, I'm doing this totally wrong.
I know, right? Me too.
I'm literally doing this one piece at a time, so I think I need to pay attention to what you're doing.
Well, as I just screwed up, I'm going to have to pay more attention. I'm trying to figure out how to, let's see, this one. This is actually supposed to be the other way. So I'm going to, take this apart. Because I want it to look like some of these yellows and stuff I don't want out of place. So I want to follow my plan. This is my New Year's resolution, to follow my plan.
So Chris must have come up for air. And then she goes, I love the Outlander series, the time travel thing.
Oh, yeah. I never did read those.
You watched it.
But I've heard about them, yeah. Yeah, we've watched it. It would be interesting to read it, though. More interesting, I think, to read it. Okay, these are sewn together, right? This is up and down. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's that one. Okay, this and this. This is next. This goes like this, and this goes like this. Yes. That's all. I just sewed that one piece together wrong. Okay, we're going to resew it, and then we're back on plan. Yeah, Wendy, I chain everything. Chain piecing, way better. Even when you mess up a little bit, it still feels a little bit better. Okay, and then this goes like that, and that is perfect. Let's look at these, make sure these are together right. Absolutely not. I did all of these wrong. Completely upside down. All right. So we're going to pay more attention to that.
Seam reverse. Getting work out today.
Yep.
So you have people coming in and checking you out and going away, so that you have
sure
28 views right now.
Well, that's okay.
No, they can join.
Yeah, they can join. They can watch later. This is kind of different from what we've done in the past. So, all right, it was lighter like this and like this. Hopefully the first one is right.
Wendy goes, I don't need a date with Jack the Ripper, LOL.
I know, right? Exactly. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to chain piece like you are because you're screwing up a lot. Yeah, I know. I'll get it. There's a lot to keep up with it.
Once you get a flow, it'll go.
Yeah, once you get with the flow. I'm talking while I do it, and believe it or not, when I sew, I usually listen to a book or music, and I kind of get in my own head. So this is a little different for me. It's not like I'm talking you through something. I'm just kind of keeping it. We're sewing, right?
That's what I should do. I should take the microphone and read War and Peace as y'all are sewing.
Oh, hell no. Not just no, but hell no. That one's good. Yeah. All right. So we just have a couple sews and we're done. I still think overall I like the chain piecing. Yeah. So I just need to take a little bit care after I do the first two. Open that up. Make sure that seam is open. And yes, I'm chaining this one because I'm paying attention. Do this one. I'm going to throw in after this, before I break the thread, the last couple of pieces. All right,
this one. What you should do is do like a color commentating as you're doing this.
You probably should.
Pull out the green triangle.
He's talking about commentating while I'm sewing.
Like we're watching a sporting event or something. I think she's using the 1/4-inch seam right there, right?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely using the 1/4-inch seam. All right, we'll sew these last two pieces together. All right. Do you count down these sews? I count down the sews. I'm like, okay, we've got 2 more sews on this one. 3 more sews. It's almost like the exercising in the 80s.
3 more.
3 more.
2 more.
2 more. He and I are goofy, by the way. All right, here we go.
I like it a lot.
All right. This is row 3 because we count the first row, especially how many times I took it apart.
We'll count them. 2 3/4, 2 7/8. 3. We got 3 done.
So 10 rows. That makes
30% done.
Yeah, we're moving on along. Yes, the triangle is on the outside here. Okay. Sometimes it's a diamond, sometimes it's a triangle.
We just lost a bunch of people there. Everybody was like, I'm done.
Yeah, they're like, she didn't know what the hell she's doing. She's using the seam ripper too much.
I think we still have Katrina, Chris, Wendy, and...
Well, I mean, I think, like I said, this is new for me. And most of my lives we're active, we're doing stuff. They're only about 15 minutes long. We're sewing.
That's right.
This is a sewing day. Did you bring the champagne?
Oh, did I leave it here?
No, you grabbed one out, but did you leave one here?
Oh, no, I left one here. Doggone it.
Shoot. Have Cohen bring me one. We have a slave child. Is it cold?
Yes.
And a glass, too.
2.
2 of them? You want 2 of them? But in the meantime, I think I might want some coffee.
You want some coffee?
What are y'all drinking today? We are going to do a champagne toast at the end here. So you can get your libation if you want. If you don't drink, that's fine. It's the new year, though. I'm excited. I just feel good things happening. Like, I have like the butterflies in my stomach, I just feel like good things are coming. And believe it or not, in my life, whenever I've had that feeling, we've had really good things happen to us. So join me in this because we're going to have some good things happen this year.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm getting this ironed. Because when I start sewing the rows, I don't want to be, oh, I got to iron all this.
Chris said 121 triangle, 1 by 1, and 2+ rows to go. Chris, you're getting close. She did the...
Oh, you've already sewn 101 triangles?
121 triangles, 1 by 1, with 2+ rows to go, yep. So,
wow.
Yeah, so you can see what she's done. First row finished. I'm actually making 2 cushions, so maybe I should be doing these 2 at a time instead of doing
Well, nice. Did you do 2 gravities, or you're just doing 2 cushions?
I think she said 2 cushions.
Just 2. Yeah. Well, you're right. I mean, and if I really think about it, I should be doing 2 as well if I'm going to put it on a bed. That's actually a good idea. All right. Dun 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 dun. Can you see it when I do like this? No?
Give me a moment. A little bit of a delay.
It's a little bit of a delay. Okay. All right. Just let me know when it comes up. All right. So that's the next row. We are going to chain piece this.
Wendy goes, correction, 2nd row finish. 'Cause she's
exactly. 2nd row, baby. 2nd row. All right. So now I am on the 4th row from the bottom. 2, 3, 4. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't have washi tape. Why don't you bring one of the nice chairs in here to sit on, since it's going to be all day?
Yeah, where's the lounger?
Well, Cohen's chair is pretty comfortable. 1, 2, 3. So I need 2 diamonds. 1, 2. It'll be nice to get out of the orange and green and start getting to some other colors.
It actually was the troublesome last night we were putting it together was the orange and green.
Yeah, that was the hardest part when we were putting it together. And what my tip, okay, so I do have a tip here. If you are really struggling to look at the pattern and kind of follow her colorway of the pattern, give it up. Just look at how many are in each row and go with your gut on the color. It turned out we got it done quicker and I think better than when we were trying to follow her colors exactly.
Yeah, if you're trying to get matchy-matchy, it just didn't work.
It did not work. So that's why I posted kind of a close-up of mine. So if you wanted to follow it, I'm not saying you have to, just a lot of people like to follow the colorway that I do. I get it all the time in my business, and I do colors for people. People bring me their patterns, and I help them with their colors in their quilts and stuff like that. So it's kind of natural for me to assume that somebody wants to know what my colorway was. All right, this was not the part that got messed up. So I'm going to chain this. And safety orange is what I call that one. Safety orange. Bless you.
Yeah, Wendy said, yes, 2 cushions in lieu of pillow shams.
Yep, I agree. You are going to do the envelope back though, right? Things get dirty. Dusty and dirty. Got to wash them.
That coffee smells good.
I know, right? We are going to get done with this row faster. No Jack the Ripper.
Oh, you just jinxed yourself. You realize that, right?
Nope. It's going to be no Jack the Ripper. This is not the way that's the problem. It's when I start putting these two together. But now I have my handy dandy color sheet.
Oh, handy dandy notebook. Wow.
I just aged myself. Yeah. Not that I watched it when I was a child. My children watched it. All right, what's our end pieces? Because we can't forget that. Oh, it's just a single diamond. I will go ahead and put that diamond on. Leaving these together. Opening up. Opening up that seam, looking at my color chart, that's going the correct way, getting my diamond, no Jack the Ripper. So what are you drinking? And if you're like, nothing special, it better be water, because I think as when we sew, we don't drink enough water.
Isn't that the truth?
Isn't that the truth? Okay.
I got that freaking Seventh Nation Army in my head.
Oh, I don't know what kind of music y'all listen to, but we listen to a little peppier, kind of more modern type music, I guess you call it. I was alternative back in the day, and this song came out a long time ago. And I say a long time. Was it like 12 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
And we didn't even know about it until just a couple months ago. And it's Seven Nation Army by White Stripes. Oh my gosh. We are loving that song. It's got this bass line in it that's just don, 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 don. It's so fun. Okay. All right. Looking at my sheet. 1, 2, 3. Right here's good. Thank you. You can see the threaded lines. Just my coffee. Nice and hot. Okay. The safety, not the safety orange, but this orange goes up.
Wendy said after I saw yours, I liked it so much, I went in and made some changes to my own. So thank you for posting the picture with me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yep, and she's doing the envelope back.
Sweet. Yeah, it always is nice to see other people's stuff, you know. I appreciate it, I know. All right. Now I'm like, dun, 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 dun. We're going to have to listen to it when we're done with this. That's okay. All right, press that seam open, and the safety orange goes, there's no way it goes. Yes, there's a way it goes like that. All right, it goes like that. And the white one faces up.
I think we lost somebody, but I think it's
That's
probably,
okay. People are going to have to go in and out.
she probably found her Y-backs and went home and said, I'm sewing now for the Y-backs. And she said she watched later.
I definitely sewed. Look at that.
See what sewed it wrong?
No, I did not. I'm looking at it wrong. Which is why I need to take my time. So these go like this. Like I said, I'm taking my time, so no seam ripper. I am going to use my stiletto here.
Yes, the stiletto, yes.
Mm-hmm. I, one time with an embroidery, on my embroidery machine, it didn't go through my finger because I did pop away fast, but it did nick the nail pretty severely.
Ooh.
And ever since then, I think you've bought me how many stilettos? You bought me a lot.
It's a Christmas present.
It's all the time. Here's the stiletto. Here's the stiletto. All right. All right, let's press this open. Can't seem to get it. But everything's coming together beautifully. Thank you for printing off my picture. It's very helpful. So that's why I was saying take a picture of it last night, because in order to keep the colors the way you want it, you have to refer to it.
So just for,
They can't hear you.
So just to give you a laugh as we're doing this, as you're working, so it sounds like everybody needs a little laugh from the seam ripping that we're doing. So somebody sent me, yeah, she says she's not sleeping. So somebody sent me a couple little jokes to share along. And it says, what's a foot long, made of leather, and sounds like a sneeze? It's a shoe. So a shoe. It sounds like a sneeze. A shoe. So
That's a dad joke.
Yeah, I was about to say that's so it falls under a dad joke. And then it said, "What would bears be without bees? What would bears be without bees?"
Ears.
Ears. That's exactly right. That's see, so she got that one. But that's your little funny in between that I thought I'd share with you. That some of these stupid things I get popped up on that people send me that apparently my sense of humor is a little dad joke-ish. Yep. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but you know. But yep.
Funny, you crack me up.
Yep. And do you know what the world record is for the most babies born to one woman is?
60 something, isn't it?
69. Very good.
I
Yes.
thought it was 60 something.
Yeah, her name was Vasilyeva from Russia. She gave birth to 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. Holy cow. I think they were building an army back then when she did that. I think that's crazy. So anyways, that's little things. So you can see what I've been doing. She's sewing, making something useful, and I know all this kind of out of the way facts that don't mean much. So I'm going to be your entertainment while you're doing this, so she can get some stuff done as you're watching her. So, but if you don't know, and that's for people watching this later, even currently, I mean, we talk a little bit about she has a clearance sale going on, and it's been done very well and stuff like that. But it's also, if you're thinking about backing for some quilts, or if you're thinking about some very bright colors, in the beginning, we're actually working with them more and more as well. We talked about Riley Blake, but also in the beginning, we got some of their fabrics in, and it's been very beautiful colors, very bright fabrics, and have really helped us kind of blend some of the other manufactured fabrics, you know, like from Andover and Free Spirit and Riley Blake and stuff like that. That's come through very well. So it's actually kind of cool to check out the in the beginning fabrics on our website, and that's part of the clearance sale that we have. So our champagne person's here, so I'm going to stand up and hand.
Ooh, I'm still drinking my coffee. We'll put
That's
it in the fridge, and we'll have it in a little bit.
There you go. I'll give it back to you.
Okay. Well, and I'm sorry we're bumping that microphone around. We really should get like a tandem one set up. I'm going to tell him that we have another one. He might be able to use it. That way we don't have to pass it back and forth. But I kind of have this childlike wonder, and it was something he said, like I'm sitting here making something useful. I didn't come to sewing. I didn't get to sewing as a child. My mother sewed, and I just cut the patterns, basically. That's it. And that was boring, and who would want to do that? So I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. I really came to it when our daughter, which is our third child, our daughter was in Girl Scouts, so she was a little bit older, she was probably 6, right?
Girl Scouts?
Yeah, 6 when I started sewing.
Probably.
She was probably around 6.
It was in brownies a little bit when she got the Girl Scouts.
Yeah. So I would iron on her patches, and they would fall off like they do, right? Because it just doesn't work well. And I said, sewing can't be that hard. And look what it's turned into. I was right. Sewing was not that hard. Okay, when you look at this row by itself, I really don't like the colors. It's with the whole that they look. So if you're judging by row, don't. It won't look good. No, this is a hard no.
That's why we ran into last night, because we were looking at even not like that, but when you put it all together, you're like,
get the other microphone. We have another microphone. I think that you would be able to do it. So in finishing my point, because I do have a point to that. So I started sewing patches, and that turned into me sewing a lot of people's patches because they were having the same problem. Turned into t-shirt quilts, and that's a story of its own. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, and I'll remember the point. So I was sewing patches, I don't know if y'all know Carla Peachef. She's pretty active in the sewing world. She's on Instagram, and she's from Canada, and she's been in some of the magazines and stuff. And we were doing like a debt family blog, and we met up that way. she encouraged me to start sewing things other than just sewing patches on. So actually the very first thing I sewed was a pouch with a zipper. I didn't know I was supposed to be afraid of zippers. So I did it and I loved it. And then I just started sewing more and more, and I wasn't exactly sewing quilts yet. I was sewing other projects. I'd kind of gotten into embroidery and stuff too. And then I went to get a mum. If you're not from Texas, you're not going to understand, but the mums here are outrageously huge. And so I didn't want to do it. Yeah, gigantic. So I went to this lady who makes mums, and we got to talking. You know how creative people are. You can just chat, chat, chat. She said, hey, I'll make this mum for you if you make this t-shirt quilt for me that I've started. And I said, sure. Have I ever made a t-shirt quilt before? Never. But that's what we do, right? That's what we do. So I made this t-shirt quilt. It didn't turn out great. I mean, it turned out good. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't like, ooh, sorry, I'm pushing against the table. I didn't like how it cut through some of the designs, that she had cut through some of the designs that bothered me. So I started doing kind of like a puzzle way of sewing t-shirt quilts. They became wildly popular. I was sewing, I think that one year I sewed 150 t-shirt quilts that year. That's when I stopped doing it. So the whole point of this is I have a childlike wonder of that I can take some fabric and make something useful. It blows my mind, even today. Even after all those quilts, after owning a shop, after all of it, I'm still just amazed that I could make something that someone would use. It's amazing to me. So if you're ever frustrated and stuff, keep that childlike wonder. All right, we've done 5 rows and all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I'll second that thing is
2,
because
3,
just
4,
like with this pillow,
5.
she's tried to follow a pattern,
I'm on the 5th. Yeah.
didn't like the way the pattern turned out, and said, I'm going to make it my own. I'm just going to use my knowledge, use my experience level, and use my love of colors.
Working?
Yeah, it
okay,
is.
Good.
And she actually did wonderful with the color ranging, and just like you were talking about, I think it was Wendy, that the way she rearranged the colors actually more appealed to her. And that doesn't mean you need to follow Jennifer's. I mean, Wendy said something about taking a couple of the colors and kind of, make it appealing to you, because I don't know how many patterns we've come in. We've been like, I like it a lot, but not quite all the way. And we've made a few changes, a few adjustments to it. And it was more appealing to us. It was more appealing to some other people too, as well, that didn't like the pattern to begin with. So that's something also that plays into this, is that if you bring your own style, your own flair into it, and just because you don't follow all the directions that makes it more appealing to you. And as a matter of fact, we were at QuiltCon in, what was it? North Carolina. What was the I can't think of the town in North Carolina, the QuiltCon.
Oh, I can't remember either.
Oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy.
But it was QuiltCon in 2024.
2024, just earlier this year.
And we're in 2025.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Last year.
Early last year. They had a couple quilts that were made the same. They were doing a challenge where a bunch of people were doing a bunch of different quilts. And they each did their own spin on a quilt part, and when you look at them originally, they looked the same. I mean, you'd all look at them and go, oh, they all had the same pattern. But there was differences about it, and people had different levels of experience levels. And what come to find out when they went through, there was one that was made perfect to the pattern, and then everybody else had variations to it. And what you found is that as people came through and kind of voted on their most favorite of those ones that went through, turned out everybody loved the people's variations, and nobody liked the perfect pattern piece. So I thought that was very interesting too, when you kind of put your own style and put your own flair into it, and where it's not perfect, it seems to be more
I can attest
enjoyable.
That no quilt I do is perfect.
Right, exactly. So yeah.
This is fun.
I should actually let me give you my good voice.
What happened to that blue one?
We lost one?
No, it's just next in line. It kind of got popped up with another one. No, it's fine.
I feel like sometimes when we're talking, like those late night psychological like phrases. So
now you got to lighten it up a little bit.
Welcome, quilting world. Thank you for posting. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's something I thought was very interesting that we got from QuiltCon in.
And what was neat in
North
the
Carolina.
Atlanta one, the one in 2023, I actually bought one of the charity quilts at QuiltCon, and it was a Discord group that they had never met, and it was improvisational. It was an improv quilt. And I have it hanging here in the shop, and I absolutely adore it. And these ladies never met, and two of them had gone to that QuiltCon, but that was the first time they had met. It was amazing. And we actually had one of them come in the store not very long ago, a few months ago, and saw it. And she had tears in her eyes. It was so sweet. And this quilt is just absolutely stunning. I'll have to take a picture and show y'all. Okay, so we are on this last row. So the dark goes down like that. Raleigh, North Carolina. And then it was Atlanta the year before. Yep. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're on the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, we're on the 5th. So a triangle and a diamond on the end.
And when she's sewing, it actually helps me because I sit there and watch her sew. Because if you don't know, I'm actually going to be doing my first quilt here at some point as a class.
Yeah, I know we were supposed to do that years ago, but it's going to happen this year, though.
They're going to force me. So Lori Krause, who is like heading up the classroom activities here for the
But Candace Kennard is going to be the one that's walking you through it, which is really nice.
Well, I was going through the story that Lori said.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll let you do the story.
Lori is the one who said, you're going to be doing this. We're going to make it work and stuff like that. So she's been heading up the classrooms, and she got one of the teachers, Candace Kennard, to agree to doing it, and we're actually going to do it not only in class but also online. So you can sew with me. So I'm actually doing Seth Apter's Living Out Loud fabric, and I'm going to be doing it for it's a kind of stacked book type piece. It's going to be rather large. It's 92 by 74, I think, is the size of it. But we did a challenge over a year now, unfortunately. That's what Jennifer's talking about.
It's been a while.
Where it picked out a
But that's what happened. Our business kind of exploded, and the plan didn't work.
Yep. So we're going to make it happen this year. So, I mean, that's something that, we'll announce. It'll be happening
I think it's April.
It's April or May, in that range sometime.
Yeah.
But we're going to do that as a sew-along. So that's something that forced me to do my first quilt. But what my point getting to is, as I watch her, Jennifer, do these, and I've been watching her for quite a while now, like she said, back when she was sewing this, it is amazing to me to watch what she can create out of a few fabrics that she kind of pieces together and makes into a design or a shape or something like that. And it is a childlike wonder, just like when she was like, sitting there, this is not fitting together quite right. Oh, I understand why. And even you have to take apart and put it back together again. It's almost therapeutic in a way, right? You almost sit there and go, I'm making something out of nothing. You've all probably seen Castaway, and he's like, I'm making fire, It has that kind of quality to it, because I never thought in all my life I would ever be doing any kind of quilting work, any kind of sewing work, anything like that. And it's amazing to me that I'm starting to do it. What, did you do something wrong, or you just, again? Mm-hmm. Poor thing.
I did it right, took it apart, and did it wrong. So I had it right to begin with.
So it's not your talking. It's a hard.
Not always. Not always.
Yeah. So that's another thing. It's just at first you don't succeed. That's why they have that
Try
thing.
and try again.
Yep.
Try and try again.
Yep.
All right. So what I did was, I thought these were the last two pieces, and I did my background, and I'm like, oh, but there's a little piece over here I forgot.
Yep.
I had actually done it right. That's the sad part. I had done it right. Okay, this goes here. And then I was looking at it going, what is going on here? Did I talk about the Zoom call? Did I ever get to that?
I don't think you did.
Yeah, see, I got sidetracked. So, something else we're doing, there's a lot of shops that are talking about UFOs and busting your stash and things like that. Of course, it's resolutions of the new year, right? I'm going to bust through my stash. I'm going to finish those UFOs and stuff like that. And I agree, right? It's definitely a resolution worth doing. You know, you do need to take care of those things that are sitting, cluttering up your space and blocking your creativity and things like that. And did I just screw this up again? So anyway, I want to do it not from we're going to do one UFO a month, go. I am doing it's a free Zoom series. And it's 1 hour once a month. So it's not too much. And we're just going to talk and work through all of these kind of things. It's about scrap busting. It's about working through your UFOs. It's about organizing your space. We'll share what works with each of us. And I'm only allowing like up to 40. Do I think I'm going to get 40 people? I don't. But you know, we won't allow any more than 40, so we can keep it a little more intimate. And we can kind of work through, because sometimes these are issues for people. Something's keeping them from holding it back. We're gonna work and encourage each other to work through it. So we have where you can sign up for the Zoom on my website if you are interested in something like that. I think some people would be. In fact, I know I already have 3 people signed up.
Yep,
so,
exactly.
And I am not going to share names. And I'm by no means, like y'all know from this, I am not an expert, and I don't know all the tricks and all the everything. But I think it's in the sharing of the information that it comes from, right? And being better than me and not using Jack as much as I have today. All right. I think we're good to go. And I think the rest of them are done right. It was just I messed up that part, and then it all kind of compounded. Okay.
So Chris said, last diamond, sewed it on upside down, back to Jack.
Nice.
And Alyssa said, what day is the event?
What event?
Which one are you talking about, Alyssa? Sorry, we were probably talking a lot about various ones. Let's see, what did we talk about now? So we've talked about...
Yeah, it's a lot.
My So Along, we're talking about... I'm trying to think what else we talked about. The Zoom calls. That may be what she's talking about, the Bust Your Stash Zoom calls. What days are the Zoom calls? Do you remember?
I know the first one
the
is the
unfinished
22nd.
The UFOs, she said. So that's the Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
So the first one's the 22nd of January. Let me look it up then. Yeah.
I didn't set all the dates for the other one. I was going to kind of get a group
together
consensus of what date we should do it for the second one.
So yeah, it's going to be
January 22nd.
January
is the
22nd
first one.
is the first one.
All right. I need a calendar.
I know, right? It's like trying to keep track of this.
That's what I'm like. I didn't put that on my calendar. Hopefully you can't read my lips.
I know, right? Because she's like, dang it, I didn't put it on there.
All right. And I now need that washi tape because I'm getting confused on which row I'm on. We are going to start
such a great idea.
Folding the paper. Yes. Now I know. Okay. So I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. Yes, like this. Because the printout is not exact colors. All right. And I like folding it. I've gotten that much done. That's kind of fun.
I don't think she said dang it. Nope, that's not what she said.
That's okay. That's okay. That's just me not knowing that I'm a little bit behind on things. That's okay. All right.
I was reading up for facts while I'm sitting here talking. Do you have seam tape? Do we have seam tape?
I don't have seam tape.
You don't have seam tape?
No.
No, she does not have seam tape. I can't think of anything else to
I don't
use.
think I have had that. I'm not sure I have heard of that.
What's the little roll thing?
That is, I guess that might be seam tape. I use it more for holding zippers on, but is it called seam tape? We might
might
actually,
have it, yeah.
we might have, by Annie Andritz. Do you want to go get it real quick? Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty. That's better. Okay, I had to iron that one out. It was looking a little wonky to me. All right, let's go back to a little bit of chain piecing now that I feel a little more comfortable. He's looking to see if we have some of the seam tape. We might. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't recognize it. I use it more in terms of bag making. I think that's why I didn't catch on so much. Okay. Do y'all use organizers? I'm curious. Are y'all a planner, like a quilt planner type thing? Do you have any? What is it
Chris
called?
Said diagonal seam tape is what Chris said. We have Wonder Tape from Dritz, and we have basting tape from
Basting tape. So really not seam tape.
Yep, not seam tape. Yeah. But it made me think when I said that.
Yeah.
Oh, my hand was over things. So we have basting tape and Wonder Tape, but we don't like wash away Wonder Tape, but we don't have seam tape.
I don't know why I'm chain piecing. I don't know why I'm cutting it, but that's all right.
It's actually interesting. I was looking up facts about quilting, and it was quite interesting little facts. It was off of the sewindipidus.com. It's a website that was he was putting out facts about quilting, and it was actually interesting. You know, he talks about how it's been around for centuries and all the way back to Egyptian times and stuff like that. And then it was a symbol of wealth in France. But
Quilting
I didn't really,
was?
yeah, quilting was, it was like back in the Renaissance time. That was seen as a sign of wealth when you had quilting.
When you would buy the quilting, not to be the person that quilted
Correct,
it.
yeah,
Those are still the peons.
Exactly. But I was always interested, you know, in America.
See, Vera Bradley.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know Vera Bradley? Okay. The bags.
The bags. But there was it, especially in America, they became a source of communication, especially during Civil War times.
Yeah.
So
I have a whole series, like a fictional book series on that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just amazing to me. How they used to send messages back and forth as spies on quilts.
Cool, huh?
So they would roll it like, you know, and then the Underground Railroad, when they were trying to, you know, get slaves out and stuff like that, that used to be a talking point. That
they would memorize which way they needed to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's from the way they quilted. That's how they told the path of how to get out and stuff like that. So interesting little tidbits here. Is
which they had to memorize it, by the way.
I know, right? It's pretty interesting.
Okay, we're starting down. Like that.
And we talk about time and place and where you had to go and how you had to get out of there. So I thought that was pretty good. And in the fourth point, it says quilting is good for your health.
Sweet.
So apparently it's definitely.
How is it good for your health?
It's a stress reliever. You wouldn't think with the seam ripper we've had to
Well, I mean, seam ripping is not necessarily stressful unless you're in a hurry, I guess. But it's just you're learning. I think of seam ripping as learning.
Yep. It says the repetitive nature of stitching and the focus required to create intricate designs can help calm the mind and promote relaxation.
There you go.
It says Additionally, quilting can improve your cognitive abilities, selecting fabrics, planning patterns, and solving design challenges. Stimulate your brain and enhance problem-solving skills.
Sweet.
Done.
There's no Alzheimer's here.
I know, right? Yeah, Chris said, very interesting. I did not know that. So it's pretty cool.
We're almost done with this row. Woohoo!
What row are we on?
Woohoo!
5?
This would be the 5th row.
5, number 5.
Number 5. 5, 5, 5.
And it said the quilting bee was actually a long-standing tradition dating back to colonial times.
Well, women weren't allowed to own land,
Correct.
and they weren't allowed to
Do
work,
stuff,
so they had to get together and do something.
Yeah, exactly. It says the quilting bee was a practical way to get work done and a social event where women could catch up on each other's lives, share stories, and exchange ideas.
Gee, we're doing that now.
Yep. Exactly.
Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This row's a little prettier.
They got
It's
some
kind
color.
of a rainbow thing going on here. So,
Color.
all right, iron it out. So I've done more rows than I have left. There we go. This is stepping on along.
Here's
1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 more rows.
So quilting has specific vocabulary too. It's kind of interesting. So it talks about different words that are used in the quilting world.
Oh, let's see if we know them.
Oh, you'll know them. They're
Okay.
actually probably things the one that he must have either a Northeast or British thing, but he said wadding.
Wadding, yeah.
It's the batting or
That's
patting.
with batting.
Yeah.
That's their word for
Yep.
batting, which we've heard like at the quilt show and the British people that come here, they
Yep.
call it
Mhm.
wadding.
Wadding, yep.
Mhm.
Piecing, obviously you know what that is.
Yeah, we know piecing.
Quilting, obviously you know what that is. What a quilt top is.
Yep,
Quilt backing.
yep,
Quilt binding.
yep,
Quilt block.
yep,
Sashing.
yep.
Quilt stencil.
Eh,
It's a pre-cut or pre-printed template used to consistent and intricate. So
yes.
that's like the paper
For-
piecing, right?
Either I liken it more to the quilting that's done.
Oh, the quilt. Oh, like the quilt stitches type thing.
Yeah, because they have the templates and stencils for like the quilting that you do on a quilt.
And then a quilt label. He said this is the most interesting thing, but it's quilt label. Everybody kind of uses them. Matter of fact, we sell them in the store where you put your name on the back of the quilt to say,
yeah.
"Hey, I did this," or "Buy this." So it's actually kind of interesting that I know most of these, and they thought that these were unusual vocabularies for. I was like, "Oh, I'm actually doing pretty good, I guess, at that point."
All right, I got to get some more for my design board. I only took that many off, so now I got to do some
Yay!
more.
First level done. Moving on to the second level.
Yeah, so we've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows completed. And now we've got 4 rows left.
So, Chris, you were down to like the last diamond. I think you said earlier that you did upside down. You're going to post yours to the group, right, when you're done? Is that
And
what you said?
encourage them. Let's encourage them to finish.
Yeah, definitely. We'll kind of link it in or do something to kind of match to this video or something and kind of show how we did it because I like the way people design it.
Chris, are you the very first one, or did somebody else finish a pillow? I don't know if somebody posted to the group that they finished it.
Chris posted that to the group, so I don't know if that was.
I don't know if somebody else did it.
So maybe not.
This is kind of fun. We've had a lot of people finish the quilt. A lot more than I thought would. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that it was the year that people, they really wanted to get something done. And I think it was a pace that you could get it done. Obviously not this pillow, but this one's a little more intense than the whole rest of the quilt.
I know, right? I mean, it's like you're having to do a lot more on the pillow than you are.
It's not as, I mean, it's a little more thinking. The other ones had bigger blocks, so it was a little bit easier in that regard. But
yeah, so Jennifer's stepping away right now to put.
oh,
her
sorry, they
quilt
can't
box.
see me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
But that's right. That's okay.
I'm getting, you can hear me. I'm getting the other rows that I didn't have on my board.
You can see you on the right, like the back side on the right side of the picture. So.
Oh, great. You see my butt?
That's right. So Chris said, not sure. I think the hard part is now matching all the triangle corners now. Oh, row. I'm sorry.
Oh, the rows.
Yeah, to row.
Yeah.
To row.
There's a lot of intersections.
Yeah, there is a lot of intersections.
Yay.
Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that. Okay, and y'all saw that I lost a piece? No idea. You also know that I cut all of them. You watched me. I have no idea where it is.
Yeah.
I just stuck I cut an extra background piece and stuck there. I'm like, in the whole scheme of things, you're not going to see it.
I will say that's one of the things you remember sayings that your parents did a long time ago as you're doing quilting. Just like we talk about, it is what it is.
Oh, my mom didn't. She sewed clothes. She didn't quilt. Nobody in my family's quilted.
No, I mean the sayings that they would use for other things. So my dad, when he used to do cars, he would end up with a few extra parts left over for when he took apart an engine and put it back together again. There was always a couple parts, and it always scared me, I think, not only piece together.
It does. When there's extra parts, you're always like, you are always like, where did we miss this? What happened to this?
And he would always used to tell me, well, it is what it is. And so it's kind of funny that Jennifer just says that, because it's along that same line. It is what it is. And I don't know how many trips we went across country in that same car that was missing parts of when they rebuilt some of the engine, because my dad, who worked for GM, built cars, and he had no problem having parts not go back in all the time. And I don't know what you're supposed to take from that.
Don't say that about GM.
Well,
is the GM around any?
No, they're General Motors.
General Motors. Don't do that. General Motors does not do missing parts. It was his dad that did the missing parts.
Yeah, that was his.
You want to get us slammed?
I guess I shouldn't do that, right? But yeah, he would always work on cars in general, and it didn't have to be GM cars he was working on, but he used to work on cars, tractors, lawnmowers, you name it, across the board. And I don't know how many we saw that had extra parts that weren't back in the engine, but it worked fine for all we were trying to do. So anyways, long story short, the sayings that Jennifer comes up sometimes, I remember back from my childhood of my parents.
Oh my gosh. I am always, I know it was from my grandmother, and I tend to say these things all the time. Like, his stepmom was asking us this morning if we were cooking the pork and making the black-eyed peas and all that kind of stuff. I was forced to eat hominy for too many years in my life that I just don't buy into those superstitions like my family did. That's one Southern thing that I don't do. And so his stepmom was like, "Are you going to do that?" And I was like, "No, I'll just toss some salt over my shoulder. Okay."
into the pot of whatever we're cooking, at that point, just call it. That's the difference. So.
I'm not sure if anybody remembers that one. If you
Spill
accidentally spill salt, you're supposed to throw some over your shoulder. I don't know. I don't do that.
Be interesting to hear superstitions people.
I walk under ladders and I step on cracks.
That's why I fall off ladders. Now I know why. I used to wonder why, and now I know. She's got it out for me.
So are any of y'all superstitious? I think they're funny, but some people take them really seriously, and you know what? I'm okay with you taking them seriously, but I have a hard time with it.
I think my thing is, I don't tempt fate, and one of the things I can't stand to do is watch people play golf in storms. Like,
well, that's different. Lightning rod, anyone?
But you'd be surprised. I mean, you probably know somebody in your life who said, "I don't care if it's storming outside. I'm going down and hitting 18 holes or whatever like that." I'm like, dude, it was funny because as you may not know or may know, I was a geology major, but I had taken some meteorology and geography classes and stuff like that. And they used to put out statistics about the number of people that die by lightning strikes in a year. and it was always scary to me how many were on golf courses. If you actually figured out the numbers, it was, you'd be over 50% of people that were on golf courses. And just like Jennifer said, you're holding up a lightning rod, metal, and you're out while lightning's happening, of course, especially in Florida, where storms pop up very quickly, so that even during the time you may have clear skies, and then suddenly you're in a 13th hole, unlucky 13, get it? And you have a storm pop up, and you're swinging a metal golf club and it takes you out. So it's kind of funny. Anyways, I digress. Maybe I should do color commentaries. We're talking here.
You're so funny.
But yeah.
I know. I'm concentrating probably
That's
a
okay.
little too hard.
That's okay. No, actually, I'd be kind of excited to see how this ends up. I mean, I see, because I saw Chris's there half finished picture she sent.
It looks so good, doesn't it?
It does. It looks really good. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Because if you'd asked me last night after trying to figure out where everything's going to piece it all together, I was like,
together.
Oh
It took
my
a little
gosh.
while.
It did.
I was surprised, but it went together very quickly when we let it go.
Yep. When we didn't try to match the pattern, it went. I mean, we kind of. I would say it probably took us more time trying to follow the pattern for the first 2 rows. Well, I guess the third row.
And then we ended up completely trashing
and then
it.
trashing and just doing it. We spent the same amount of time doing all 12 or 13 rows of it. It was like crazy. Well, I guess we got the hardcore people. We're down to all the people that came in and started listening. Probably was like, Daryl's talking again. We better drop off.
No, they think it's more of a quick thing, like they're used to. They're not used to me sitting here and sewing, so that's okay. That's okay. It's kind of fun, actually.
Yep.
I'm kind of digging it.
Yep.
Kind of digging it. All right. This is like this.
I'll go to work tomorrow and tell all the people, hey, what'd you do for New Year's Day? Well, I sat and watched Jennifer sew a pillow top. And then just get the blank faces, kind of. But I think it's kind of cool to see. I mean, that's actually, I think a lot more people in my industry would love to get into this because of the problem solving and the math skills and all that stuff. They just don't even realize what it takes. I think the knowledge is the impressive thing for me. I have very profound respect for people who put quilt together that can actually belt out how much fabric they need for binding and for sashing and different things like that. When you go, oh, it's that size quilt, I need this, and this.
After a while, you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Like if it's a lap size, you need a half a yard. For gravity, I think you need 3/4 of a yard.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about it.
All right, I looked at the wrong row for this. It's really confusing on this one. I get where my colors are supposed to go, but these side pieces, I'm getting confused on which rows I've done. I need a pen, is what I need. I need a pen.
Hey, I'm going to go get a pen.
There's one right there on the desk, I think. That pen will be fine. My book, I can write on it.
That's right.
Okay, I have done this. I have done this row, this row, this row, this row, this row. 2, 3, 4, 5. I have done 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm working on this one. Yes, I sewed that end piece wrong. And that's okay because I was looking at the one above it because I wasn't keeping track. So that one I'm not frustrated on. Just we need to make sure we are doing the right way.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting, actually, coming down to the last pillow part, because y'all have been doing this for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I guess people have been sewing on it a year, but it's,
for a full year.
Yeah,
Like
for a full year.
I had 4 videos a month for
12 months.
Well, December was a little
Okay,
awkward with the
11 months.
background. So, yeah.
I remember.
Kind of.
So for all of you out there, I know putting together sew-alongs and stuff might take, but I mean, to think about what Jennifer had to do to get this one set up was actually, it started in April, May of the previous year.
Yes.
That she had to think about what she was going to do, design how it's going to go, figure out the fabrics, talk to the manufacturers, get all that going. I mean, it took almost 8 to 9 months of planning just to get to the January 1st, 2024 start.
And it was also my first sew along, so I
Yeah.
was learning as I go.
Yep. And so, but to plan all that out and get it all set up, it's pretty impressive to now be at the end looking back.
I don't feel nearly as green now as I did then. Fought with technology. Still fighting with technology.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We'll
we're getting
get there
but we're getting
eventually.
better at it now too. We're actually getting a lot better at technology now. I am at the very least being the backstage view because you're seeing Jennifer in front of the camera, but I'm usually not usually for you guys. I mean, she does it all by herself, which is still pretty impressive. But on a lot of the lives and stuff, and
That's
every
better.
now and then you'll see my face on some of the lives, but it's
His smiley, happy face.
yeah. That's why I say
Oh,
I got
no.
my radio voice working right now, so it sounds like I'm
do.
talking to the masses. But
You do.
but yeah, no, it's actually quite interesting to see what it takes because I've been through her with her for the whole time getting this prepared, and it's a lot of work, and it's turned out so wonderful.
It has just been so fun. I feel so excited about it and get excited for y'all. I know I'm not as much on the group as I hoped to be, but it's getting a little bit better. I've got some people that are helping me a little more, so.
So Wendy said, "I'm enjoying your commentary. I decided that I would sew both cushions at once, so I'm taking much longer.
That's
So
okay.
I'll just keep plugging away here.
Just
That's fine.
keep going, keep going.
That's what we're doing here too. We're plugging away at it. So, but you're starting to see it take shape, though. I really start seeing the colors starting to come together and stuff. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah. I'll be sewing the rows together with Chris here before too long.
Yes, Alyssa, ask your question to Dr. Phil. Not whatever you
There's
do.
nothing to it. You just have to pen. And did I remind you that you need to pen?
Yeah, pin.
Because it's all about the pen. It's about that pen. About that pen.
That's right.
Y'all remember about that bass song that came
Yeah.
out like, I don't know how many years ago. Was it 10 years ago
Yeah,
now?
Yep. Yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
right.
You can ask your question. What's the meaning of life? Okay, so it's 42.
Is that what she
No,
said?
no. We're getting goofy here now.
We are getting goofy. That's okay.
referring
We don't want it to be dead air, so this
I
is
know,
just
right?
gonna be whatever flits into our mind.
I'm quoting a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So when I talk about have your towel ready and 42 is the answer, it's just
Yeah, meaning of life 42.
So she asked, how do I receive a free yard of fabric in January?
Yeah, because the deadline was last night, I haven't had a chance to put that together, but I will send emails out tomorrow. And then I'll have it where it automatically goes out every month. So it was just kind of, and we did get people buying the gift certificate in the last hour, last night, in the 11 o'clock hour. So I just haven't had a chance this morning to get that together.
But it'll be a code, right, that they get. And
It will. It'll be a code. But Alyssa, you come in. So if you want to come in and do it, that's fine because I know you're getting multiple. So you can always come in and they'll have a list at the register and they'll be able to do that for you, or and I will also send you a code.
That'll be specific for that person.
Yes, specifically for you. Then the other people will have a code that'll work for all of them. For the people who just got one, which is not just one. I mean, I realize that's a lot.
Yeah. And it's your choice. Yep. You get to choose whatever fabric.
I know, that was kind of the fun part of it.
Yep.
I think we'll do that every year. I think it's fun.
Too, yep.
I mean, at this point, right?
Yep. She said thanks.
You're welcome.
Alyssa, how far are you on the pillow? Is she on the?
She's not in the group.
Oh, she's not.
It's live on YouTube,
Okay,
so pretty much anyone can see it at this point. But I just announced it to the Gravity people.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. That's why you probably have people popping on and dropping off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I was just interested about people that are doing it because I'm not familiar with that side. I do with Jennifer.
Yeah, he doesn't know much about the Gravity side. And even my employees don't really know much about the gravity side. It's something that's just been mine, which I think that's why I've enjoyed it a little more, because it's kind of like we were in this private little club that we had. And y'all have all been so great. My God, I've loved y'all.
Yeah, she's only said good things about her Gravity Soul Along group. It's been wonderful, and y'all are so helpful to each other as well as her, and that you've been very responsive, and that you've done a lot of good things together, and it's been enjoyable. Jennifer always has a smile on her face when she talks about the people in the Gravity Soul Along group, so I was always curious. So
you can't get in unless you're sewing it. Well, I know. And it was about, believe it or not, there were about 200 people that signed up. And you can just take out 100 people that didn't even attempt it. Right. They signed up, but they didn't even attempt it. And then out of that other 100, there's probably about a quarter or so that barely sewed anything. They tried, but
they did like a month and
they did like a month, and then it dropped off. Life got in the way.
Oh, excellent. But
then the rest of you have been pretty active. And there was one lady that got it done like in the first month. Mean, she wanted to enter it into a competition, and so she just did it quickly. Yep. But I'm really happy with how many people are finishing. I'm actually really thrilled.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful.
It's not a UFO for you.
Yeah.
And it was a UFO from 2015 for quite a few people.
Exactly. So it was first released in 2015, and so people had started. They may have been the 1-monthers back then, not finishing it, still had a stash somewhere, and they pulled it out and worked with Jennifer on this going forward. And I thought that was cool too, that people had the kit, was already doing it and picking it back up and going with it again, because they either couldn't go to the classroom, because a lot of these were in-store classes that were done with the Gravity the first time through. And the fact that she did it online, I know a lot of people were appreciative of.
Well, a lot of people somebody did a Tula kit, and people got the kit, but
that was it.
I think it was after her original sew along,
yep.
And so they didn't really know how to make it happen.
Right. I was looking at Alyssa's comment here. It's Rachel, who's an employee here, is a teacher to sew and stuff like that. We do have a beginner sewing class coming up.
Yeah.
In, I think it's February, or January or February. There's a beginner sewing class.
Yep.
That we're having here. So that may be something to think about. Maybe I'll find a date here.
Yeah, Rachel's taking that class too.
Rachel's taking that class too.
Yeah,
so there you go. Y'all can do it together. So
yeah.
There you go. Let's see.
Yeah, are you looking up the date?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I don't, off the top of my head, I don't remember. Lori does our classes now, thank goodness. You wouldn't have classes if it were left up to me, because I just don't have time to facilitate all of this.
Yeah,
all right. And just like that, another row is done. Woo-hoo-hoo. I wish YouTube had a way that you could share on your side, like those small, I'm done with this row, I'm done with this row.
Okay, the date is...
It is on the website.
So the beginning sewing class it's on the website. It's February 22nd. And it will meet the third Saturday for 3 straight months. So February 22nd, then March, whatever equivalent that is, and then April. So it's 3 months in a row. And then what she'll do, it's actually taught by Candace Kennard. And you'll actually... terminology, picking fabrics, cutting skills, sewing skills, binding skills, and break down a pattern into manageable pieces.
Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful quilt.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
It is very much beautiful. So and she said she's going to give you the basics so that you can carry on to the next step. So.
And that must be then yours is in May.
Yep. Then mine must be in May then. So I guess Chris just did a woohoo with a big smiley face. So does that mean you're done, Chris?
That means she is done.
Excellent, Chris.
Not with the pillow, but the top.
The top,
probably.
Yeah, the top part.
We're not sewing the whole pillow together. We're just doing the top. I think that's long enough.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's... Okay. And also, Candace is also doing a beginner's table runner class.
It's a beginner's foundation paper piecing class, which I'm excited about because I've been wanting to learn how to foundation paper piece. I have not learned that. And it's all because I don't have time to sit down and teach myself. I'm really good at teaching myself, but I haven't had time for that. So I thought if I take the class, then I'll have time to actually learn it. And that will be my first quilting class. I have never had a quilting class.
Yep.
All right. Another one down.
Oh, that was sweet. Chris was woohooing that your row was finished.
Oh, thank you.
That was sweet.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, I see what you mean about making sure these rows are lined up right. Ooh. Yeah, that's like that. Okay. All right. Three more rows, and then we're on rows. Wow. We've already done 1, 2, 3, 5 of those little rows.
Really?
Yeah. Just while we're sitting here.
Just moving
oh my
along.
gosh, we've only been here 2 hours.
Is that all?
I had no idea it had been 2 hours.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Time flies when you're having fun. All right, marking it off. All right, well, thanks for sticking with me. Gosh, that's been a while. This little sucker takes a while.
Yep.
All right. We get these done. I was thinking that the sun had changed a little bit. I do think it's going a little bit faster now that I've figured out how to chain piece.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, when I did the sewing videos, they were only like 15, 20 minutes long.
Yep.
Oh, did anybody answer if they use planners, like quilt planners?
No, they did not.
I know y'all are sewing, y'all don't have time, but I'm curious as if y'all do. I haven't ever used a quilt planner necessarily. I just use I need to do kind of planner. But I am a paper girl. I know it seems like I might be digital, but I am not. I love paper. And in fact, I like the process of writing so much that I got a Remarkable. And I wish I could become a spokesperson for them and make some money on it because I love it so much. I tell everybody I love Remarkables. I still get to write. It has a nice feel of writing. It's not awkward like the Apple Pen is. And I write everything down. And I can keep all my lists. So before I got it, I was constantly writing on notepads and I would lose them. And I was constantly going, where did I write that down? Where's that piece of paper? Did you see that piece of paper? All the time. I got this Remarkable. Every now and then I say, where is it in here? But mostly I've been pretty good about organizing it. Kind of like files on the computer. And I keep everything. And so when I'm going to take notes on something, I go to that particular file, take the notes, and it's always there. And also then I can refer back to it. So when we planned booths at shows, I would draw out the booths and write everything that was going anywhere. And then every time we were redoing it new every time. Now, I just copy and paste what we've done before. It's awesome. Okay. Diamond.
So, of course, I looked up one of those sites about interesting facts about quilting. So I found another one.
You're doing that?
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
So quilt is derived from the Latin word colcita, which means stuffed sack.
Well, that's interesting.
The earliest depiction of quilting was discovered in Egypt. It was an ivory figurine of a pharaoh wearing a quilted clothing circa about 3400 BC.
Wow.
Quilted clothing was popular in Europe, especially under chainmail armor for soldiers. It kept the metal from rusting and kept the knights comfy under all that heavy gear.
Wow. Very rudimentary, not
just basic quilting.
It was, probably whole cloth, just basic, put it together.
So at least according to this, the earliest known quilt made in America is from 1704 that still exists.
Really?
Yep.
They preserved it.
Yeah,
I wonder what
preserved it.
museum it's in.
I don't know. It doesn't. It's got a little, what do you call it? Like a annotation. I'll have to go down and see what the annotation means.
If it's in LaGrange, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be.
So we've got this quilt museum here in town.
Texas.
In Texas.
LaGrange, yeah.
It's in LaGrange, and it's really cool. We're actually thinking about doing a bus trip out there one time for any of our local people that watch.
An interesting one here. During expansion to the western United States, as people were pioneering out there, quilts were used as window coverings, doors, and walls for temporary housing, but also was a form of currency for pioneers, so they could exchange quilts for other things they needed.
So quilts have always been worth something.
There you go.
Nice.
Let's see. It says in the 19th century, which is the 1800s, it was customary of certain parts of the United States to have a girl make a selection of quilts before she got engaged.
Yes. 9.
12.
It was 12?
Yeah, 12 would
12?
be made for everyday use, and one would be used to show off her quilting skills, and placed on her bed she would share with her husband.
There you go.
It says even though the sewing machine was invented in 1790, hen quilting was still the more popular way of doing quilting for the next 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Some people still do it today. That's all they do is hand quilt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what they have machines for, so I'm going to use a machine.
Chris said, was it Joseph in his coat as many colors? That's pretty funny. See, so quilting became more popular in the 1960s when the countercultural movement encouraged people to get back to their earlier industrial roots. In 1971, Jonathan Holstein opened the first quilt exhibition in a major museum. It was entitled Abstract Design in American Quilts, and helped launch the craft into a realm of appreciation and criticism it had not known before.
Holstein, like the
cow.
The cow Holstein.
Jonathan Holstein, yeah, just like the cow. What's known as the crazy quilt was introduced during Victorian times. In order to showcase their wealth, highbrow women would use expensive fabrics like velvet or silk and brightly colored thread to make quilts. They were intended to admire as art, but not for use of warmth or protection. It had no value there. It was just for art and wealth.
There you go. All right, there's my row. We've chain piece 2 now. I think this is what's going to keep me from messing up, is laying it out like this after that first chain piecing.
Wow. So the most expensive quilt ever sold was a Civil War era piece that was sold for $470,231 in 2018.
Oh my goodness. Who was the quilt made by?
It's got another one of those. I'll have to go down and see, though, because it just told me that it has the annotation, for the reference. I'll go down and see. It says, well, quilting has traditionally been a female activity. Many men in the United States military must pass a quilting class in order to be in, while enlisted. They had to pass a quilting class while enlisted.
Interesting. Right, so they could probably repair their clothes on the field.
I guess so, yeah. The largest patchwork quilt was made in 2000 and measured 270,174 square feet, or 251,000 square meters. That's more than 54 times the square footage of the White House. Wow.
Do any of y'all look for quilts like in movies and stuff like that? I'm always going, yep, every movie that has like family life, not space movie or anything like that. Anything that has a family life, there is always a quilt. Every single movie. Every single movie.
They give little stats on what quilters buy. Do you want to hear these?
Sure.
So dedicated quilters, those who quilt on an average, pretty often, yearly buy 99 yards of fabric at least, which almost is the length of a football field of fabric.
99 yards of fabric on the wall, 99 bolts of fabric.
Why don't they make left-handed sewing machines? What a great idea. I'm actually left-handed. I think that's a great idea. So the dedicated quilters usually spend an average of $3,363 on quilting supplies per year. So for those out there who think they're spending too much, there's a good average number for everybody. That's what they say according to statistics here. Said quilters spend an average of 6.9 hours a week on their craft, but the advanced quilters usually spend 17 to 18 hours a week. So,
I'm in between that.
yep. Dedicated quilters spend almost 8 hours online per week visiting quilting sites and stores and groups centered on quilting techniques, supplies, and news.
There you go. I think quilting people, it's a close-knit community. I really do think.
And it says in 2017, quilting was a $3.7 billion industry.
It's more now.
It's more now. Yeah. So anyways, just little facts things. I figure as you're listening to us while you're sewing, it'd be kind of cool to get little facts here and there. So
we might, if the lighting's not too bad, have to turn the light on.
you can do that. You're actually showing up pretty good on the
dark in
Are you
here.
getting? Can't see.
No,
me?
I've got the light here.
They can see you really well on the.
Can they?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I didn't mean to do that pop up. I want to sew one more time. My bobbin is running low, but you know why I'm not sad?
Why are you not sad, Jennifer?
I am not sad because I have another one.
She has a spare bobbin.
I always, every time I run a bobbin, I make sure that I have one ready-made. I'm kind of weird like that, but I'm wondering why that one's not all the way full. Wondering if it was a problem child and I have to rerun a bobbin anyway. We'll see. But do you see how quickly that row came together, right? That's been the fastest one yet.
Yep.
It's because I've gotten my flow now.
Yep. You're in the groove.
I'm in the groove. It took almost the whole pillow top to get there. Yep, I know. And just like that, this is row. This is the 7th row, really. I only have 2 more rows to sew, so.
So Chris said, Jennifer, have you seen the Easy Finger Thing Stiletto Purple? Received one in an Advent box and loved it.
Was it from Riley Blake?
Let's see. Easy Finger Thing Stiletto. Maybe. Let me see.
The only ones I know are from Riley Blake. Or a stiletto.
Stiletto, yeah.
Not a seam ripper.
Yeah, it's a stiletto.
Interesting. No, I have not heard of that. I thought I ironed.
It takes me a moment to figure out how to spell stiletto.
STILETTO.
Oh, I see. It's from Superior Threads.
Superior Threads, okay.
That's cool. I'll show her a picture of Chris when she gets back around so she can see what it looks like.
I want to get this pressed. We are almost to row sewing. All right.
Yeah. So, Chris, I'm going to show you the picture. Let me see if I can turn it up. Is that what you're talking about? So I'm showing you my phone in the picture, so I want to make sure before I start talking about it to her that that's what you're talking about. So just, you can make that comment. That looked like it would fit really well over your finger too as well.
Good. I'm glad that y'all use a stiletto. Whew. I push that pretty hard in these videos. I'm like, use your stiletto, use your stiletto. Trim your points, use your stiletto.
So Alyssa said, what's it for?
What's what for? Stiletto?
Yep.
Sometimes when you're sewing and I know I can't get real close, but sometimes when you're sewing and you're sewing over these seams, can you see that? I know it's a little bit delayed, but when you have seams and you're trying to sew them together, you have to hold it down and you don't want to hurt your finger and get the needle through your finger. So you use a stiletto. It's got a point on it. You can also use it as an awl to poke a hole, but it holds the fabric down and it can get way under there so that you don't hurt your finger. That's basically what I use it for.
And that's the stiletto, finger stiletto.
So you can still use your finger, but you're not getting down under there.
Yeah, you're not putting your finger underneath.
That is interesting. Yep. That is interesting.
So I just showed her, Chris, the picture.
Okay. Woo, it looks pretty up there.
Yeah, Chris
I know
said
y'all can't see it.
Her stiletto ends up on the floor more than anywhere else, you know, as opposed to keeping it. So that's why on the finger it may work better.
Yeah, I would, if I were doing something else, I would push it all the way to the end, but I don't want to do that here. So I don't know if this one was actually done right. It was giving me fits before, but we're going to try it and see if it does. If I start having any fits, I'll just rerun another bobbin. And unfortunately, I'll have to cut that one out. All right. Time to 2 more. That's it.
2 more rows. Excellent. Yeah, I guess, Alyssa, thank you for joining. I mean, you're learning about the sewing machine, so you're actually getting to see some of the tools, tips, and tricks for using the sewing machine stuff here as well, and even from other people. So
all right,
that's good. So anything else like that? I say,
yeah,
Chris,
I don't mind answering those questions. Those are
Chris,
especially getting someone to use a stiletto. I'm all over that one.
I am too. But I appreciate, Chris, you have anything more like that you use that are cool ideas? We'd love to see those because we're always into new ideas, especially.
And as a shop owner, I like to think that I keep up with everything, but oh, good Lord, I can't. I cannot. Come on, don't mess with me. There we go.
If the sewing machine starts talking back after you yell at it.
I know, right? I think I keep my pedal backwards because it hurts my ankle to keep it up like this all the time. And I keep the heel of my foot on the leg of my chair so that I just press down like that instead of up like this and down. So sometimes I don't have it positioned quite right. I think I'm the only one that keeps my pedal backwards.
Yeah, that was new to me. I don't think
he got under there and he goes, "What the heck?"
I'd never seen that before, but whatever works, I guess that.
I absolutely turn it around. And I'm right-handed, and I push the pedal with my left foot. And I drive with my right foot, but I push the sewing pedal with my left foot.
That's hilarious.
I know, isn't it odd?
I'd never noticed that before.
Yep, but I use my left foot. I don't know why. I just always have.
That's one of those little known facts about Jennifer there.
I know, right? I'm definitely dominant right-sided, but if I do it with my right foot, I'm always like doing it too hard or not releasing in time. It just doesn't work right.
Yep, exactly.
So, Wendy, have you started chain piecing? You know, she's like intense, kind of sewing hers. I think I've gotten on this flow and it's really going now. All right.
Yeah, doing it 2 at once, that's gonna hope you get into a flow because
I think she'll finish today, but get a good amount of it done. I know it's not a Christmas present. Well, it could be next year. I mean, later this year, Christmas present. It's hard to talk in terms of 2025 right now as last year and this year.
Oh, Chris said she uses her left as well.
Nice.
She's right-handed, but she uses her left foot as well.
It just is more intuitive for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I should stop thinking of it as a car. I guess you think the gas pedal's the right thing, but I guess
maybe you would be better off using your right foot.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
you're like no.
No. Well, I use my right foot
for maybe your left foot will be better then.
I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing to try out. I guess I don't know. Speaking from a left-handed perspective, I think you're all crazy. But that's one of the things I think Alyssa said earlier about the left-handed sewing machines and stuff like that.
It's always it's never going that way. I don't think I've ever seen one.
That's something.
I'm sure someone has one somewhere.
That's something that when Jennifer and I first met, and all the way even till now, that I struggle sometimes doing things right-handed that are very, intuitive for her to do right-handed. And then when I show her stuff that I have to do with my left hand, like opening doors and different things like that, that seems very intuitive for just general people, it's actually quite amazing. We're still a very dominant right hand world.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny what you get used to, and just you don't even have to think about it anymore. So, but I'm very appreciative of my left-handed scissors. I tell you, I really, that's made life a lot easier for me, because I am very gross motor skill with my right hand, and very fine motor skill with my left hand. So to do intricate cuts and try to do it with my right hand, just those two things don't go well together.
Well, we have a left-handed child too.
Yep.
And my best friend growing up was left-handed. So he always said that I was a little more allowing of left-handedness. Accepting. And I think that's because my best friend was. My stepfather was left-handed. So I've always had a left-handed person in my life.
Yep.
So I guess I kind of saw what they struggled with. And teachers did, even in this day and age when my son was in preschool. So that was 20 years ago. But still, that day and age, it wasn't, it's not like we weren't in the 2000s. They tried to tell me that he wasn't left-handed and that they were trying to force him into being right-handed. And I'm like, haven't we moved past this? Good Lord.
Yeah, some people
I stopped that real quick.
Yeah. Some people that come into the shop, especially because I work Saturdays a lot of times here at the shop, and they'll look at me kind of strange, because what I do when I unroll bolts to cut, I'll unroll them upside down. Like if you see somebody like Jennifer or some of the other people that work in the shop unroll the bolts, they unroll a certain way, and mine are always upside down. What I mean is the clip is toward the person, and I can unroll that part. And when I start stacking them on top of each other, the cut, they look at me like, what? That's strange. What are you doing? And I'm like, it'll make sense when I'm done.
You'll be fine.
But what I find is I'll throw people off, because I'll cut, and if somebody else is coming after me, like if we're doing fat quarter bundles, and I'll slice these things up and have them in a stack. And I see people people that are right-handed walk up to my pile and go, wait, how does this? I have to turn this over, and they'll have to turn it around and stuff like that to be able to do the further, cutting with scissors, because it's backwards.
Yeah, I don't have any left-handed employees.
Yeah.
Everybody's right-handed. Yeah.
So it throws it off. So she goes, Wendy said, "Yes, I have."
Oh, nice. See, and I think my problem was I wasn't laying it out. I don't know if you can see this, but laying it out like this. But once I started laying it out like this, it's just been going real fast.
Yep.
So I'm already onto the second chain.
So
Wendy, if you like chain piecing, I'm gonna have to do that webbing thing.
Yep.
Man, you would be amazed.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we should do a little video on
I'm
webbing.
going to do for like one of the exploding hearts. I'm gonna do it because it's all squares. You really have to. It needs to be consistent type shapes.
It said it's much slower sewing doing two at a time. She said.
Oh,
of
is
doing
it?
the two. Well, the two.
Oh, yeah. Just doing like one-to-one breaking, one-to-one breaking. Yeah.
But my goodness, Wendy, once you get done, though, once you get both of those done, that's going to be a
gonna be
complete set, and that's
amazing.
going to be amazing to look at. If you put that on a bed with two pillowcases with this as the kind of the main colors looking over top of it, that would be gorgeous. That'll be like a show home type thing, you know, where you have the bed with the gravity quilt on top, and then the pillows covers or whatever you want to call it on. Not shams. I know it says not shams earlier, but having those as like main feature pillows on top, that's worth it. That picture's worth 1,000 words. Let me tell you. But yep. So, but yeah, just know, Alyssa, when we were talking about left-handed, that you got a ally in the store that that completely understands your problem and how much it does take a little bit of getting over and just buckling down and trying things which may not feel comfortable, because that's what I had to do, and it's worked out so far. I just had to kind of think twice about it, you know, and try to
Oh, and
relate.
you know, I said wrong. I said I didn't have a left-handed employee. I do. Our son is one of our employees.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
he
guess
is
so.
left-handed,
He is
but he
left-handed.
doesn't do any cutting or
Yeah.
anything. He's all back-end work.
Yep. Let's see.
Oops.
So you've had. It's actually you're actually. I know it's 2 hours in. I know that thing, but I mean it's actually hasn't seemed like 2 hours. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, we're 2 hours and a few minutes, but it's. I only have one more row before I start sewing the rows together.
Wow.
I mean, the rest of this one, but this one's almost done. Yeah, I'll do that webbing video. It's another 3-hour video, but I would probably do pieces. It's so boring. I mean, it really is. It's so fast, and you just keep going. The hardest part is the first like 3, because you're sewing rows, but you're doing them in columns, and the first 3 they get kind of twisted up, and you gotta think about it and figure it out. But once you get past that, they don't twist up anymore, and you can just sew and sew and sew and sew and sew and sew and sew. It's great. Literally the entire quilt. Before, and like I said, before I sew the rows together, I decided that I want to iron that first so they nest better. But you know what? You can do it without. It turned out great without it. So it would just be something to make it that much better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can tell she's getting toward the end. She's getting into the purples and the reds and stuff.
I'm what?
You're getting into the purples and reds. I said you're getting toward that top part.
One more row. This was it.
We got to figure out a gravity dance.
I know. It's the gravity dance. All right.
Excellent.
That row. Sweet. Then Chris, right? She's the one that finished, or she's still sewing rows?
I think
she's done.
She said woohoo, it wasn't for done.
Yeah.
She wrote, so maybe it's getting close.
It's a lot of pinning, and pinning takes time.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go
for
another hour, and then wherever we're at, like 4:30, I need to go home too today. Okay. We'll call it a day. But that'll give a couple of rows sewing, so you can get an idea of how the rows go. And then we'll call it at that.
Okay. Wendy actually said, I don't know what you mean by webbing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to show you. I'm going to have to do a video.
It's hard to explain.
It is. It's hard to explain. But man, oh man, it has revolutionized. It's been a long time since I've had something go, oh, I'm going to start doing that. I'm starting to do this.
Yeah, we'll have to.
And it's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just new to me.
Yeah, it's a different way of putting the quilt together.
And when you're doing it, like my employee Lori, she had a hard time with it, so she gave up. She got frustrated and gave up. Sorry, ooh, that was probably loud. But yeah, I figured it out.
Yep. So Chris said she's on row 5.
Oh, sweet.
And Wendy said that's about the plan with the 2 pillows and the main thing. So that's my plan. I'm excited to see it on my bed.
Yeah, I am. I can't wait to. I'm going to hang it here in the shop for a long while. And then when we get something else big like that I want to display, then I'll probably take it home. Yep. I don't keep all of my samples, believe it or not. I don't keep very many at all. But this is one. I think because this quilt is not just a beautiful quilt, but it's going to remind me of our time together too. And I can look back on that and think very fondly of it. So
exactly.
I think this quilt has a lot of meanings for me.
Yep.
Because like I said, my employees don't know much about it. My husband doesn't even know much. I mean, he knows that I'm doing it, but he hasn't been a part of the process. So.
Nope. Yeah, no, she's been doing this all on her own, the setup and stuff like that, and getting everything going and making sure everything's done each week. And
now the prep before the sew along, my employees helped, just not this year. It's hard to believe it's not even this year. Last year,
yeah,
they helped in 2023.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not as green now. I know how to do it now.
Wow, that seems like ages ago.
It does. When we started this, we didn't have the exploding hearts. We didn't have a classroom.
Wow.
Yep.
That's so wild.
All right. I don't know why that was a partial bobbin. It seems to be fine. I don't know what's going on.
Don't jig yourself too much. Hit some wood there or something.
Well, we're good.
Yeah.
I've got this down now. I know
Was
how
that
to
the
do
row?
it.
That was the row?
No, there's this piece.
Okay.
I've got to add to it.
But that's the majority of it, all right?
And it's not, I mean, that's just the first set of chains. I do 2 more chain things, but yeah, we're that close.
Oh, wow. Holy criminies.
Exactly. But like I said, we're going to call it at 4:30. So like another hour, and then we're going to call it. And I'm going to go home and enjoy the rest of the day. So I think, personally, it's time for some champagne.
Champagne? We can start asking Jennifer good questions at that point.
Ask me the good stuff. All right. So we need a triangle, and again, this is one of those times. Why didn't I use all these diamonds? Maybe I cut one too many. Seems suspect. But I've sewn them on to all of them.
Elisa said, gotta run, thanks.
You're welcome, Elise. Elisa, right? It's Alyssa? Alyssa.
Is that Alyssa? I'm sorry, Alyssa. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Oh, you just ate that. How did that go? Oh, it did fine. Okay. Oh, is it going to pop?
Yeah, it's
We're going to pop it.
So this is one of my favorites. I love doing champagne corks and stuff like that because I love
the popping.
The popping sound.
Here we go.
Hope I don't bust eardrums.
Woo! It's fun. All right. So there's that. One at a time. Oh, can you see it? I love my champagne. There's this, I've been drinking this for a long time. It's called Francois Montan. And I use AI. It's so funny. We always called Francois my boyfriend. And I use AI in business, and so I call him Francois too. It's kind of this long-standing joke. Now, this one, I do think I sewed this one wrong.
Yeah, she comes all the time and she tells me, that she talked to Francois today when she was trying to work on a new plan on AI and stuff like that. And it still makes me double take for a minute. And I think
it's funny. Yeah, it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
And I know people are like, AI, you use AI. Oh yeah, it helps. I don't know if y'all in business, y'all use AI or whatever, but if you're stuck on any idea, like let's say like you want to throw a party, right? And you want to do a theme and you want to have some games or something, maybe it's a baby shower. We're going to have to turn on the light. I freaking can't see anything here. And you're stressed and you just want to get it planned. Thank you. If that's real bad on the lighting thing, because I needed light.
I think that actually helped.
Okay, good. It was getting dark in here. You can type into AI, and I do a paid version because I use it with business, but you can type into AI, I'm planning, say like a baby shower, right? Just for lack of a better term. I'm throwing a baby shower and I want it to be really fun and memorable. And the theme is going to be, and I broke my top thread. The theme is going to be, well, it's for a baby boy. I don't know what theme. She hasn't picked out what, the mom hasn't picked out anything. I need a theme and I want it to be, involving sports or animals or sea creatures or whatever. Can you plan a party? Tell me the games and some color suggestions. And it will plan the entire party for you. And all you have to do is just say, no, I really don't like green. I like blue better. And it will do it. It will write out invitations. It'll write out thank yous. It will do all of the party planning for you. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. All right. I did have to get Jack out.
Oops.
Yeah. My fault. It was that one that we lost the color, so it kind of threw me off with the background. Okay, much better. Wow, that's ugly under there. That's when it ate that top thread. Trim some of that off. Okay. So what are you looking at?
Nothing.
Nothing. He's playing a game. That's what he's doing. All right.
Sending stuff to one of our children.
Sending stuff to one of our children. Oh, set out the chicken?
No. But that's a good idea.
You didn't set it out?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Good way of thinking.
Yeah.
Wendy said, woohoo, with a little celebration for popping more champagne.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to take a drink.
You gotta take a drink. Every triangle, you gotta take a drink.
That tastes so good.
Good.
The little bubblies. All right. So what are y'all having for dinner? Do y'all do New Year's traditions? We were talking about that a little bit before, but I don't think anybody contributed what their menu plan was. We are not. We are having grilled chicken, stir-fried cabbage, and corn. Is that what you said? Yeah. So nothing, not even a purple whole pea.
I couldn't find it, so. Yeah.
Oh, really? Pick Sweet really had good purple whole peas.
Yeah,
Do they just not have it up here? Do they have it in Tomball?
maybe.
Our grocery store close to us, they don't carry all the stuff we like. We have to go to another store to get it. Okay. Fine with me. Works. things go wrong when I don't lay this out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like that.
I wonder if we'll get blocked on YouTube for drinking champagne online.
No. No. It's not a kid-friendly video.
Mm-hmm. So Chris Purcell. Oh, that's right. You put that's
I
why.
put that it's not a kid video. Yeah.
Chris Purcell said pork and sauerkraut from a local fire company. So
a local fire department?
Yeah.
Fun.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness.
That's
I don't
cool.
like sauerkraut, but that's fun.
Love sauerkraut.
Yeah, he's from Ohio.
I'm from Ohio, and
he likes sauerkraut.
We had sauerkraut on almost everything. So that was our biggest New Year's Eve dish was pork chops and sauerkraut with we didn't have black-eyed peas. We had purple hull peas and stuff like that. And then when I moved to Mississippi, that's where black-eyed peas came in with collard greens and cornbread. So I sound very countryfied when I say that, don't I? But it's but that was our staple. I mean,
none of that I eat, none.
Yeah, no, I can remember that, especially in Mississippi, it was a black-eyed peas. Though it wasn't just New Year's Eve, they had black-eyed peas, collard greens,
all
and
the time.
Cornbread all
yes,
the time.
That was something you could get all the time. That was a regular Sunday meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I don't eat collard greens.
But going back to the sauerkraut, I loved it on hot dogs. I still love it on hot dogs. I could have sauerkraut on many, many different things.
You have at it. You and Chris.
Yeah.
Eat your sauerkraut.
Yeah, we'll have to have a shared hot dog eating something or other and kind of.
When's the last time you ate sauerkraut?
It's been a long time.
They don't have it here.
They do.
Do they? Yeah. I think sometimes you get it when we go, no, you just do the malt vinegar and stuff.
Yeah, I was big on malt vinegar, so I'm weird because I'll pick malt vinegar over tartar sauce and all that stuff on a fish and chips, like fish and chips, and I'll do, listen to me. I sound like
His
I'm
mouth
English.
is watering.
I know, right? But fish and chips, like fish and french fries or something like that, I'll put malt vinegar over all of it, and everybody's like, ew. And I'm like, this is
well, that's
I
what
like
they
that
do
sour.
in Ohio, though, right? That's
well,
how they eat.
It's an English thing too, a German English thing. So so I saw somebody was talking about, I think it was the thing today about the flags in Pennsylvania, but they were like, the German heavy Amish colors and stuff like that. I was like, interesting. But yeah, I have definitely got a German background, and so it definitely comes through.
Which he's got all that family kind of history. Mine, I do not. I only really know one side of my family. I don't know the other side very well. I think they were, my mom's side, indentured servants from Europe, but my family they've been here a long time. My dad's side, if you know Jones County, Mississippi, that is my family's county. So, and there's streets in the town that's like Telly Brewer, Ezra Brewer, all of those are that's my family. So, yeah. It's interesting.
In Mississippi, yeah.
In Mississippi, yeah.
Yeah, I could tell you, since we're in a little thing we're just telling about, we could tell how we met.
Oh, yeah, tell them.
So Jennifer and I met in Houston. We were at a bar on a Tuesday night, which was not a pickup night.
Not a pickup night.
She makes me say every time I say it.
Not a pickup night.
It's called the Richmond Arms. It's in downtown. Well, not really downtown, but close to downtown Houston.
Right. I was there with some friends that had just moved here. And those friends and I had met when I lived in Mississippi. So,
yep.
There's that.
And so we met and then, kind of introduced ourselves to each other because I had a Mississippi State baseball shirt on. And she noticed the Mississippi State part, and we had to talk about that. That's probably another story I'll save for some other time. But we...
well, no. So
go ahead.
I noticed him when he walked in. And when he walked by, I said, is that a Mississippi State Bulldog shirt you're wearing? And I got it wrong. But
no, Mississippi State Bulldogs, right? You said Mississippi Bulldog.
Yeah, Mississippi Bulldog shirt. And he said, "Why, yes, it is." Kind of like that Dockers commercial from like a really long time ago. You have to be older than 50 really to know that the Dockers commercial. And he played with me, and I even got the name of the shirt wrong, but he played with me anyway. So, okay, there you go.
Got points.
Got points.
So we started talking, and kind of
our friend groups.
Our friend groups talking and stuff like that, and then after a while, we noticed we kind of were attracted to each other, and so we started talking, and then realized that her mother and my stepmother worked together on a Girl Scout troop in the same small town in Mississippi. And then we started talking about that and realized that we were in the same elementary school. Jennifer and I were. I was in 4th grade. She was in first grade. Little town of Florence, Mississippi, 600 people in the town. And she went there for a year because her then mother moved to Dallas, Texas after 1st grade. Mm-hmm. But we were in the same little elementary school for a year in this little town in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi.
Yep.
And then we started, when we got married, we started dating and stuff like that. We started, realizing the overlap. So the preacher that married...
Yeah, what happened is my grandfather passed away. Yeah. And I went to Mississippi by myself, and I actually was pregnant with our youngest son, the one that works here now. And his parents were so sweet and came to the funeral home to support me. So very, very sweet. And they started talking to, I haven't fixed this problem yet. They started talking to the pastor that was there. Came to find out it was the pastor that had married his dad and stepmom, had married my grandparents and buried my grandfather. How amazing is that? Yeah, that's weird.
Yep. And so we started figuring out all these little intersections of our lives. Didn't know each other. I had no clue she was there, right? I mean...
Yeah, we didn't know each other.
Her name was Jennifer Jones, so it was...
There's a book called Jennifer Jones Won't Leave Me Alone. So cute.
But no, we didn't know. But we went from a town of 600 where we were,
and we met in Houston.
Yeah, and so we were in a hallway of a small elementary school at a 600-person town, and maybe 50 feet away from each other at any given time.
Yeah, but you didn't hang around first graders.
But I'm
right?
saying we were that close. But it took us to a town of 10 million. Mm-hmm. We found each other in a hotel. Not a hotel, a bar, in the middle of Houston. That we ran upon each other, so I thought it was kind of a cool little story that we had. So that's a little bit backstage view of Mr. Threaded Lines and Jennifer, the owner of Threaded Lines, and so that's kind of,
last row. Goes like this, but last row. All right, now iron, and we are on to sewing the rows together. Ooh. I think maybe, given the time, I can probably do a few before we stop. All good things must come to an end.
You got 45 minutes, it looks like, about that.
Yeah, we can get a couple of rows done. Probably what I'll do, instead of sewing one row against each other, because I'm always afraid of the creep of going one direction, I will pin all the rows together and then start sewing them together in a chain piecing capacity. Did I tell y'all that I chain piece everything?
What do you do, Jennifer? Do you chain piece?
I think I chain piece.
You chain piece. I think so.
And then we might be able to get a little more done quicker. Ask Chris. Well, Chris, are you pinning more than just two and doing a few at a time, or are you just literally doing two and two and then putting two together? And no judgment, just curious how people sew. Yeah, that's the side that I don't hear very much, right? I pick out fabrics and everything, but I don't get to see how they sew.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot here too. I was talking about Alyssa earlier, but I'm actually sitting here watching you do this. I'm learning too as well as we go along, just catching things, ideas.
And I'm by no means perfect. I'm probably at the level most everybody else I work with is. All right, I wish y'all could see this. All the rows together. Look at that.
You want to pick the coat?
No, I think it'll give people kind of nauseous. So I just want to, here I might bring them to a closer place. I don't know if that will help any, but I don't want to get them mixed up. All right, I will pin these two together. And it's an odd number of rows. I thought it was 10.
It's 13, I thought.
13?
Yeah, so I thought. What?
There's a row over there.
Ah, okay.
I was like, I thought that this was all...
Did you get the bottom one too?
Yeah, I've got the bottom one. Okay. There we go. And I'm assuming we trim this when we get done.
Yeah, Wendy said, what a great story. It's such a small world. And Chris said, one row at a time. I poke myself with pins if I do more.
All right.
I know that feeling, Chris. You actually reminded me of that. I was.
He sewed actually for me for the first time. He's not a brand new sewer anymore.
Yeah. But in doing so, I had some pins in there, and I had done them. We talked about left-hand versus right-hand thing. I'd done them the other way, that when you're using your hand to kind of guide through, keeping it like a quarter inch away from the needle, all the pin needle points were sticking in my finger each time I went to do it. So I found myself pulling them out early. I didn't wait till it got up to the actual needle. Oh, actually, I'm talking far away from it here. Let me pull these back close. I'm not even holding the thing right. I found myself pulling out the needles well before it got to the sewing part, so I had to be very careful how I was doing, because I kept poking my finger. So I still have little pinholes in my index finger on my right hand. So, but that was my little pin story. So yeah, I feel your pain, literally, Chris. That poking yourself.
All right. This first one pinned easy pinning. I know that one's not going all the way, because that one, you know what? These are not going to match up. You know how I feel about that. Y'all have been sewing with me. I don't care.
If you didn't realize Jennifer didn't care, she will tell you straightforward.
That one for sure isn't going to match up. And for me to make it match up will make the rest of it not match up. So I'm going to let that one go. Like they say in, what is it, Frozen, let it go. Okay. 1 to 2.
1 to 2. Here we go. Ease on down the road.
And now this one.
3 to 4.
Yep.
Such bright colors, though. I'm really excited to see this thing.
Get some of those cross intersections. Maybe that one will match up. Yep, this is all about that pinning. So how I do it is I pin all the 2 rows together, and then I'll sew them one at a time. The rows went, well, I'll chain piece them, but the pins don't hang down on my lap. I grab 1 row at a time.
It's time to take a drink, sir.
It's time to take a drink. So pinning is the worst part of this. And this, some people asked if this was a beginning quilt. And there are some people you realize in our group, I don't know who they are. It's been a while since they said this is their first quilt ever, but they started with this quilt.
Wow.
I just don't recommend that. You're working with too many bias and too many weird, complicated intersections, and just no. I know, pin in the mouth. Oh my gosh. Did you see there was some lady on YouTube, I don't know who it was, but she called me on not on my rotary blade, not doing the cover on my rotary blade for like 3 months. She got me doing it because I was tired of her telling me.
Chris, I like your post on the gravity sew along the pin thing. That's exactly.
Oh, did she do it? She put a picture on there?
Yeah.
Yep. We should at least take a picture. Maybe you can take a picture on your phone, all my rows pinned together.
Yeah.
And I'll post it. My phone is being used as a camera. Oh, dropped a pin. Scary. I don't let dropped pins lie. No, I gotta get them.
Wow, that sounded so like I don't let sleeping dogs lie.
I know it did.
That was impressive.
But that is the right word for it.
It is.
This is why you don't watch golfers right here. This is the boring part.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, oh no, it's not golfers, it's fishing. When they're just sitting there.
Oh my gosh.
This is the fishing part. Now you need to pull out your things now because they can't even really see what I'm doing. It's so micro level.
Is that a 50 weight all titanium pin? That's what they do on the fishing shows. I think he's got one of those flex cast reels there, and he's using a number one bobber, I think. There.
No, I do like my pins though. All right. 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Whoops.
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
I must be getting a little hungry. A Facebook post came up about how to cook tomatoes.
You got apples and caramel right there.
I will. I'll probably eat a couple of those kind of things. But came up just like an automatic play on my phone. I sat there, mouth open,
salivating. Well, we're talking about fish and chips and malt vinegar and.
There you go. See, Wendy's got these great little sayings she's saying on this thing. She goes, "A finished cushion is better than worrying about perfection."
Exactly right.
That should be on a T-shirt.
And you know what? The thing about it is, we see it, right? We see the problems, especially because we're right in the middle of it. But you go a few years later, or even a couple months later, after you haven't been working on it, you're not going to see the problem. That's why I'm just like, I can't wait to really show. I wish that you were in person and I could show you my gravity quilt, because after it's been quilted, you don't see a single problem at all. And let me tell you, mine were full of problems.
Exactly.
And Elizabeth, when she was worried about the puckering that some of it did, because of the bias and stuff like that, the quilting took care of that.
Yep.
It's all, you don't even notice it once it's done. So Wendy, you haven't quilted. You were asking about, oh, you did. You said you picked a binding. Is yours quilted?
You have to wait for a response.
No, I know I'll have to wait for the response, but I seriously want to do one of those. You roll it out, and then I do a compilation of them. That would be so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta bind mine now. I really want to do that flange binding. I think that for me, I think that will just make it perfect. All right. So, getting a little faster?
Yep.
5 and 6?
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 10. So, then we start sewing.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go.
My sewing machine turned off its screen. 4:02. I'm determined to get through with this and sew some of these rows together. So if it's close, I may keep going and get done.
I know, it's like racing the clock.
I am. Pen, pen, pen. It's dead air.
Oh, sorry. So there once was this person from, I don't know.
Other stories. What other stories do we have?
I think it's some,
You want to tell the RV story?
oh, ooh, okay. I guess that could be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
So Jennifer and I are big RV people.
We love to RV.
We love to go stay
RV,
places,
yeah.
and we actually would do weekend trips to places around Texas, because Texas is pretty big. It's just like the country. You can see a lot of places in different states, but there's a lot of places in Texas to see. And so we would do weekend trips to certain areas, and this story we're talking about actually
it was a new to us RV.
Yeah, it was.
We never buy brand new RVs. We buy new to us RVs.
Yeah, there's a really cool place here in Houston that you can go get used RVs from, and that you can actually, there's no sales pressure. It's not like going to buy a car or anything like that. You actually walk through the lot. They have them numbered, and you get to go through each one of them and look at them and decide which one you like, and then you say, I want that numbered one, and they get it ready for you, get all set up and roadworthy, and then you go with it. But we like travel trailers, and so this was a 32-foot travel trailer we were getting, and we had before that probably 2 or 3 various types of travel trailers, older models, right? So we're talking, basic, not a huge, lot of bells and whistles and stuff like that. This one was a newer one, and so we were going to Corpus Christi to go see
I thought it was Rockport.
Well, that's what we were going to Corpus Christi, which is a town on the beach, close. It's southwest of here,
yeah.
And we were going to go see the Nutcracker with the kids, and we decided to stay in a state park in Rockport that Jennifer was talking about. It was called Oyster Bay, I think it was called.
Which was decimated by a hurricane, by the way.
But, yeah.
Completely decimated.
Yeah, this is the year before it was decimated by Hurricane Harvey, actually. And so you probably have heard of Harvey around the country. So this was the year before Harvey came through. And we actually bought the RV the weekend before we were going on a trip, and they had it ready for us on the...
Because travel trailers don't require as
whole
much.
Lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we picked it up the Thursday. We were heading down to the place. So this is new to us. I mean, literally, we picked it off the showroom. Well, not the showroom floor, but the area, hooked up to our truck and went to the state park. So we get there, pull into a spot. Well, it would rain. It rained on us the whole way down there, completely. I mean, just blowing wind. We struggled down there. So it took us, instead of like a 2.5-hour trip, it took us 5 hours.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to the RV park,
it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night.
It was late, and it was dark. Still raining, cats and dogs, right? So if any of you had RVs before, when you get to a place, you've got to set the stabilizers. You got to get everything hooked up.
So he usually did like the outside stuff, and I got the inside ready, which when you're traveling, you have to put everything away. So I do the pop-out out, I lay down the rugs, I put up the lamps, the things that make it look homey and get it ready, right? So that's what I do on the inside.
And outside, I hook up the water, I hook up the hoses, I get the electricity going, I get the stabilizers all set out and leveled and all that stuff. So first thing I do, I always set up electricity first so that she can get the stuff going on the inside. So I hook the electricity up. And then,
oh yeah, because I have to turn on the hot water heater. I have to connect a whole bunch of stuff. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
So I hook up the electricity, and then I get kind of stabilizers kind of on the thing, and then what I do then is hook the water in so they can have some water inside in case they wipe something down or something happens.
And then I also clean too.
Yeah. So I hooked the water hose up, screwed it in. It was right next to the electric thing. I was like, boy, that's really nice. It's right next to the thing, and that's what we've had in the past. I thought, it's okay, that's cool.
So we're inside cleaning, my daughter and I, and getting everything ready, because there's actually quite a lot to do, both inside and outside when you get there. But once it's done, it's a pleasant experience. So she said to me, there's a noise in the bathroom. And I went in there and I was like, I don't know what that is. We'll ask Dad when he comes in, right? Because this is a new RV. All right. So that's what we thought inside. Now you.
Yeah. So as I got everything else set up and everything like that, and Cohen's helping me too. So this is our youngest son. So we got done, and of course it's pouring rain. We're in our rain slickers, where the water's running through the campsite like it's a river going to the campsite. So much water to him. And so we open the door inside. I said, okay, everything's set up. And they said, okay. She goes, Lainey's complaining about noise in the bathroom. And I said, okay. So I get up into the bathroom, and sure enough, you can hear like a...
It's light. It's not very loud. It's just a light noise.
Like that noise. And I'm like, where is that coming from? So I'm searching around the shower. I'm looking around the sink. And I realized it's coming from the toilet, the back side of the toilet. I was like, that's kind of weird, that's kind of... So I'm looking everywhere, and I was like, there's an automatic, it's a new fancy kind of toilet or something like that, what's going on? And as I'm looking in the toilet bowl, I noticed there's a little bit of seepage coming back from where the entrance, for the toilet. And if you see Meet the Fockers or anything like that, how you kind of see stuff.
I can laugh about it now, but it was not funny at the time.
So I see the seepage coming. I was like, what is that? And so if you think about a person bending over looking in the toilet bowl, picture this. I'm sitting there with my mouth open and the questioning stare of what the heck this is, right? And then I'm looking down, and I thought it would be good to step on the little thing that flushes it, right? Just to see what that is. Well, when I did, a huge stream of what was in the black tank in the toilet came right up into my face and splattered all over the ceiling, the wall, the countertops, floor. And I'm gagging as Jennifer's getting every kind of comforter, every kind of towel, everything that
we
soak up.
Were not wearing.
Yeah.
Blankets. We didn't have any quilts, thank God, because I would have grabbed one.
Yep. And it was.
I grabbed everything: sheets, towels, blankets, everything.
Because I remind you, this is a used RV. This is not a new RV. So somebody had it beforehand. So if you know the story, we're not going to go into details here, but so
what the company does is they pour chemicals down it to get it to break down really well, but they forgot to drain it.
Yeah. So I got a mouthful of
chemical-laden crap.
Whatever it is. So anyway, so I'm sputtering and coughing and stuff like that. Jennifer's like getting stuff out and getting stuff like this.
I'm like, go turn it off.
So I went outside, and the only thing I could realize was that, the only thing hooked in there was the water. So I turned off the water, and the noise stopped. So Jennifer's inside cleaning these things up. I'm trying to really still catch my breath, kind of figure out how to get this stuff out as I'm gagging. And so she goes, go to Walmart, get whatever you can.
I said, take the kids, go.
Yeah.
Get bleach wipes, get blankets and sheets, because not a stitch of that is coming back in this RV. And no, we're not washing it either, because it had this really strong chemical smell that I knew I wouldn't be able to get out.
So
all right. So literally, there was at one point almost an inch standing in the bathroom, and I had to squeeze it out of the walls. Oh my God. I was the one that stayed back and cleaned all of it. They got home, and there was not a speck anywhere.
It was
But I
cleaned up
said,
completely.
every surface has to be wiped down with this bleach.
Yeah. So we did all that, and we basically piled up all the things that got the splattered on. We took it to the trash, threw it away, right?
Yeah,
but
every bit of it.
But what the problem was is that in the darkness, when I hooked up the water hose, I hooked it up to the black tank cleaner, the thing that cleans the black tank. That wasn't the water intake, it was the black tank. We had never had before. So it needlessly filled up the black tank completely. So there was so much pressure that when I pushed the plunger for the toilet, it released the pressure and shot up into my face. So there's a RV movie, if you've ever seen it, with Robin Williams, that he called it the Shower of Sadness. That is our shower of sadness story that we will never forget.
No, we will not.
And but it was, it was just one of those times that you just like that. That's our story, and it was a great trip after that. We had a great time on the weekend.
Yeah, we did. We let it go, and we went to the Nutcracker. But
it was
I ate an amazing meal. They didn't have an amazing meal. Mine was wonderful.
My mouth gets dry, and when I tell the story, it still makes me go, And it's been 8 years now.
Yeah, but at that restaurant, it was really nice because there was this sweetest older couple. They're having dinner, and we paid their dinner for them that night because they were so sweet.
She couldn't hardly move her arms and had trouble as well. And he was feeding her and stuff like that.
It was just.
We were in tears, and we said, "We're gonna pay for their meal," but we didn't wait around. We just kind of paid. We told the waiter,
"Just pay for their meal." And,
we're gonna because
we don't even know what they thought of it.
Don't
we
know.
Just left.
We were like. But it moved us so much to see that. We were like, dang. So we said we're going to take care of it. Anyways, long story short.
Read the instructions on your RV manual before you go out.
Lesson learned. If you get a newer RV that's not one you're used to, please read the instruction manual because you will get a surprise in many different ways.
The way you don't like.
So. And for those of you that are now, having to take Tums and antacid and making yucky faces there, that's sorry for that story, but it's a pretty funny story. Actually.
So, in that story time, I have sewn together these rows. I'm on the last, so at least I'm down to 5 to sew together.
Yep. And she's using it still like a professional.
I'm being a good girl.
Being a good girl. So I hate to ask all y'all are working there, but does anybody have stories like that? Pass on.
When we go to parties and stuff, people are like, "Oh my gosh!"
They all gather around and wait for our new story because usually we have some story.
I don't think that we have any less stories than other people. I think we react to it better. Is what we do.
Yeah, my company. Whenever I work in a company of about 2,000 people, and whenever anybody knows I'm going on an RV weekend or going away and driving the RV,
they're waiting
for when I come back, so they come to see what kind of stories. Because we got stories all over the place. We were going to see my mother with one of our older travel trailers, and we were in Roswell, New Mexico, and the slide-out chain broke.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And
so we were stuck there an extra day.
Yes, extra day and stuff like that. As I tried to figure out how, because nobody knew how to fix RVs at that point.
It was out, but it wouldn't come back in.
Yeah, it was out. Yeah. So I figured out a way to push it back in, and then I figured out a way of taking off a couple links of a chain, because it was chain-driven slide out, and in kind of necessities, the mother of inventions, I figured out how to take out links of a chain and then hook the chain back in, because what basically it had done, it had broken, and I reattached them by wires, and it worked ever since.
Yeah, it worked better, actually.
And so we were thankful, because the thing, if I had not fixed it, we couldn't even drive down the road because it wouldn't close all the way. It left about an 8-inch gap. Mm-hmm. And if you know,
it would have gotten wet and everything
and it would have caused wind drag, and we wouldn't have been able to pull it, because
in high winds we might have been rolled over. So
it was that's our little. We have lots of RV stories, and it's one. If you ever come visit us and we ever go out to dinner, ask us about our RV stories, but make sure it's before or after we're eating, because there's some.
Oh, that's the only one. He was like, we're eating. I'm like, get over it. It's fine. I had 3 boys. I've heard it all.
Heard and seen it all, right? But yeah.
Caught it in my hands. Yeah. As a mother, you do.
Yep,
that's what
absolutely.
you do.
Yeah, you do. Save the rug.
All right. I'm hoping this is the way it goes. I'll look at my handy dandy picture here.
So I'd love to know what you were saying, Wendy, because it says your message was retracted. So were you making a comment that you had to take back? just curious.
Facebook's much more open with that stuff. And I made this not for kids. Not that I'm going to sit here and cuss and smoke and all that kind of stuff and do inappropriate things, but, you know, I should be able to say a cuss word every now and then if I want to.
Yeah, we actually have...
This looks gorgeous, guys.
I know, it's going to be
gosh,
cool when you get it together.
Looks cool.
Yep. I was looking at the rates of people coming on and off and stuff like that. We actually have quite a few people that are coming on and staying. But,
Yay! Well, we have such interesting stories.
Oh, Chris said she's finished. She posted it on Facebook.
Nice. Good
Excellent.
job.
Yep.
Fabulous.
Oh, so Wendy said,
Woohoo.
had a hard way to learn a lesson. I hope your camping trips greatly improve.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
It's, you know what, even that, we just laugh about it now. And I think I wasn't laughing at that moment, but I think we laughed about it the next day. Like we just take that stuff as, I don't know. I think that's one of my gifts.
Yeah.
I look at things as just learning and with a childlike kind of wonder. I'm not a child. It's not that. But I think that is a gift of mine. I truly believe that I just don't, that stuff is just, it was just learning.
Yep. She said, thanks for the fun so long. I need to take my dog for a walk. He's giving me the eye.
Yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to be getting off here in a few minutes.
Yep.
I'll
Happy New Year to all.
Pin these. Happy New Year. This has been fun. I have loved it.
And Chris
Thank you
said,
so much.
Yeah, Chris said it is beautiful the way yours turned out. So I'm glad. I want to see yours.
You've
now.
got yours ironed too? Ugh. I'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys. Y'all have fun. It's both of them, right?
Yep.
Yep. You think you want to go ahead and close it?
I don't know. It says there's 4 people still watching.
Okay. There's 4 people still watching then.
If y'all want to make a comment, let me know you're out there. It says we still have 4 people out here. So, though we've had a lot of people come and go.
Sure. That's okay. Not everybody can stay around that long, but...
And you can rewatch all you want.
For our stories.
Yeah, Chris said you have to laugh at life. You can't undo it, so you might as well laugh about it.
Exactly. All right.
Woohoo! It looks like color.
It looks like color. If it looks like color and acts like color, it's probably
must be
color.
I think you like color, Jennifer. I don't know.
Rainbows in particular.
Like rainbows. Happy New Year to you, Chris. So Chris said Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. I think I'm only going to have time for pinning this, and
we'll kind of hold it up, and then we'll call it.
Yeah, we'll call it. This was a little more sewing than I thought, but that's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's okay. We'll have to do a Zoom maybe next time where we can exchange and really interact.
Yep.
We don't have actually an RV right now, which I'm kind of sad about.
I am too.
There's a place called Junction, Texas that it is probably the least amount of light. And the reason why I say Junction, it has a pretty nice RV park.
It's a state park, yeah.
Yeah, it's a state park. And
Texas State Park.
Texas State Park. And I have never seen the night sky like I have seen it there. You can actually see the Milky Way. For those of us that are living in a city, you can't see the Milky Way. So it was
You can hardly see stars.
You can hardly see stars. So it was nice to see the Milky Way. You could actually see the planets with your naked eye. Granted, it was the time of year that we were in, but if you had, I wanted a telescope. I have never wanted a telescope more than when I visited that. So, and I want to go back with a telescope. Yeah. Now that we have those apps that tell you what you can see and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, Wendy said about the message retracted. It says, LOL, I hit send before I finished typing. Nothing bad. LOL.
Oh, okay. I'm back to the fishing. I'm penning again.
Yep.
Penning again. Penning again. But not as much penning this time. In fact, this is the last one I'll sew now. Because it's 5, so I only have 2 that I can do. I'm actually going to get to sew a little bit more.
Yay!
I may finish it just so I can, because I'm that close. Once I get these 2, I'm that close.
Might as well see a finished product.
It won't be ironed, but it will be sewn. Come on. All right. See, it's when I'm doing these seams that I really like to use that stiletto.
Yeah. To hold down
to get it down in there.
The quarter, what do you call it?
Yep.
Crossing ones?
Well, just keeping these flaps down.
That's what I mean, the ones that go in the other direction, you know.
I hope at least this motivates you to sew the pillow, even if you don't want to watch the whole video. Watch me drinking.
I was about to say that may motivate people to drink champagne as opposed to sewing or something. But you got to celebrate the New Year's, right?
You do, and I don't drink champagne often. I really don't.
Nope. Special occasions when you're looking forward to 2025.
And you know what? I'm kind of celebrating. Yeah, I knew that was a thick little point there. Slow it down a little bit. Help it out just a bit.
You're kind of celebrating.
Huh?
You said you were kind of celebrating and then you stopped. So.
Oh, sorry. This sew along is coming to a close.
That's right. Yep.
Right. So we only have the rest of January to finish. In order to get the finishing pin, everybody will get the patch. And I want it to be a surprise snail mail thing for you because like nobody gets good snail mail anymore, and this is really, really fun. These seams are thick. Really fun snail mail, unless you get fabric in the mail. But this is like fun mail that you didn't pay for, so
right.
That makes it even more fun. But I have them.
Yep.
I designed them. I have them. Yeah, that's it. I've got 3 more sews, and that's it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. See, that's the bottom.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's coming together.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. Going all the way up to purple. I'll do this one and then I'll add that one and that's it.
Wow. Get to see it in its entirety.
So it's pinning, boring pinning, but...
Well, you know. Let's see. What else can I talk about? Let's see. So if you ever go to shows and see threaded lines there, first thing people tell me all the time is they know where it shows because we have our trailer that has threaded lines to the side.
Have a black trailer that has our logo on it.
Yeah, so we go to shows like...
and people have seen us on the road before.
They
so
have.
If you see us on the road, let us know. Snap a picture and post it and let us know.
Yeah, because they snap pictures.
Don't honk at us and try to get our attention. We'll have a wreck.
I got 2 funny stories. Well, depends on the way you look at funny, but the first funny story is that we actually got one of the trailers before we got it kind of, all doled out with the threaded lines logo and stuff like that. It was a 10 by 14 trailer, and it had a longer neck on it, to attach to the truck. But we thought, and so we thought it was too big, and so we said, we want to go back and get a 9 by 12 trailer.
It was too big for
yeah,
what we
it was,
do.
yeah. And so, so we did, and we went back. I said 9x12. It's a 5x12, but it's a 12-foot trailer as opposed to a 14-foot enclosed trailer.
Yeah.
And so I went back and got the 12-foot trailer. Well, it had a smaller neck on it, and I didn't realize when I was backing into the parking spot that it had a smaller neck on it. So we haven't even had it. We even had it for what,
30 minutes.
30 minutes or 45 minutes, and I put a big dent in the front of it because it hit the bumper of the truck. Because
when you have a gooseneck, you don't have the full capacity
right.
to turn.
Yeah, so it says a smaller neck, so I didn't have it.
They call them goosenecks.
Well, that's the big one that comes over to the back of the truck.
Oh, that's a gooseneck. That's
but that's
right.
good. But it's still the same point.
I had it wrong.
Well, but it's still the same point.
Yeah, you still don't have the turning ratio.
So now I had just gotten the trailer and I already put a big dent in the front of it. And this past International Quilt Festival, we were taking a lot more than we normally do. And so what I was trying to do is figure out the best way to pack it. And so I had packed a lot of the bins with our product in the back, the very back part of the trailer. I even put a video out on Facebook about us packing it up, and literally it was front to back, top to bottom, completely full. Like you literally couldn't even squeeze anything else in it. And so I hooked that up to the truck, and we head out to the International Quilt Festival the next morning. And we were on a major highway going 70 miles an hour on the 65. Jennifer doesn't let me go above 65, so I was
not
going
with the trailer.
So we're going over this hill, and there's a lot of bumps and stuff like that, and we're kind of getting jostled around a little bit, and the trailer's really heavy. And I hit this one bump, and the ball thing, the cup for the trailer, popped off the ball from the truck and fell to the ground. So we're talking about a 9,000-pound trailer.
The trailer hit the truck.
Yeah, the trailer hit the truck. Luckily, that's a good thing. So all you are going, oh my gosh, that's actually a good thing, because if it had gone to the side, we would have been pulled around.
Yeah,
it would
have caused a major wreck.
Yeah, the trailer's heavier than the truck is, and so we managed to slow down slowly. I know it's starting to look really good.
I only have one more row to sew on. This is pretty much it. Oh, no, it's 2 more rows, but yeah.
And so we managed to slow down and pull off the side of the road and realized that I had put too much weight on the backside of the axle of the trailer. So the wheels, what you try to do is put a lot of weight on the wheels or toward the front so it pushes down on the ball. But the problem is if you put too much weight, then you end up getting a V look to the truck and you pull up the front of the truck, right? So you try to balance it out as much. Well, apparently I didn't do that. I had too much to the back. And so it pulled it off the knob, even though it was the right size and everything. We'd used it for like 3 years and stuff like that, no problems. So I thought I had the wrong size ball on, but I realized that no, it's the right size.
We left it on the side of the road.
Yeah, literally.
We had to.
Yeah.
To go see what we could do.
So found out that I had the right size ball for it. It was just not the way. And no, I was not going to unpack it.
And we could not unpack it on the highway. No. There would have been no way.
So
you know what we did?
Yeah.
We got those ratchet straps,
yeah,
and just wrapped the hell out of it.
And ratcheted it down, so it stayed on.
Ratcheted it down, and that's how we got there. And went really slow.
Yeah, went slow, yeah, but we got there, no problems. Matter of fact, it didn't make any noise at that point because we ratcheted it down so much.
We ratcheted it down so hard.
It was interesting in taking corners, but we managed to work it out. But yeah, it was. But that was our exciting, scary moment of going to International Quilt Festival.
That was just a couple months ago.
Yeah, that was just a couple months ago. So
yeah.
So lesson learned there too as well.
We like to learn lots of lessons.
The hard way. And all the stories we're telling you on this, you've probably heard a lot of our lesson stories. And, but,
some of the more extreme ones.
Yeah, but again, so that everything turned out okay. We laugh about it now, but you start trying to think the what ifs. You probably can't think about the what ifs because if you said what if that had happened, it would have been ugly.
Oh, don't have regrets. Don't look back and say I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Do it.
Yep.
Just do it.
And that relates to sewing. You worried about a pattern? Just try it. Just do it.
Try it. Just do it. and that's something that I do want to talk to is about stretching beyond your comfort zones, especially for some of the new ones that kind of they only use the pre-cuts and they don't go outside of those pre-cuts. It's stretch a little bit. It's actually good to take a walk on the wild
Take a walk on the wild side.
I get, and that's one thing I've never had fear, that kind of fear. With the heights, I don't do heights, but with this kind of stuff, I'll try anything. It doesn't bother me. If it doesn't work out, there's a way to make it work out. I wish you that for this year, that you take the chance. Did you realize I'm sewing the last row?
I did. I'm watching you. That's why it's quiet air. I'm sitting here watching.
Sewing
with bated breath right
last
now,
row.
waiting for that
I didn't
final
think
part.
that we were going to finish, and it's a little past 4:30, but we're so close that I was like, I just want to finish. Now, not the pillow, just the top, and I don't have it ironed, but I can still show you
that it can be done.
that it can be done. And we didn't take a picture of all the pinning. I forgot. I think I was just trying to hurry.
That's it. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
That is it. I do want to trim that off real quick.
Wow.
That is it. So I will just iron to make it look better, trim off the sides, and make the pillow. How cool is that? I didn't see it.
Yeah, hold it up.
Oh my gosh, that looks really good.
It does look really good.
I absolutely adore that. Yep. And of course, it's not perfect and not everything matches up, but you know what? Enough matches up that it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
That is so cool. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. I know a lot of people have left and we may be empty right now as it is, but just in case we aren't, thank you so much for joining us. This is the first time we've ever done a live sewing like this. I know we were here for what, 4.5 hours?
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. So thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. And I look forward to our next sew along. All right, guys. Happy sewing. Bye-bye.